Digo, me raya por un momento y digo, ¿por qué estoy tan abajo? Me he caído. Estamos bien. Vale. ¿Qué sucedió en el primer episodio de Slay the Princess? Bueno. Básicamente estamos reuniendo fragmentos de princesa. Hemos conseguido 3 finales diferentes de momento. Eran 3, ¿verdad? El de la diosa, que destruía el universo. El de la damisela, en apuro. Y el de... Estás dentro de ella. Pero no estás dentro de ella, no mal penséis, ¿vale? Estás dentro de ella en plan de... del alma, ¿vale? Así que vamos a continuar porque todavía nos faltan no sé cuánto. La verdad.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin.
Pero la verdad es que
And
so
in the
far
basement of that cabin
me está gustando
is a
muchísimo el
princess.
juego, ¿eh? Me está gustando un
You're here
montón.
to slay her.
Vale, ¿qué
If you
qué
don't,
posibilidades no hemos
It
probado
will be
todavía?
the end of the world.
La primera fue liar la parda, literalmente. La segunda fue salvarla a Pincho. Y la tercera fue ir a Pincho a matarla. Así que intentamos huir ahora. En plan, darte la vuelta e irte.
Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
A mi puta casa. A eso voy. Vale, qué pesado. Iré a la cabaña y daré muerte a la princesa. Bueno, vale, iré a la cabaña y hablaré con la princesa. Sí, claro que sé a dónde voy. Aquí lo único importante es a dónde no voy. A la cabaña. No voy a la cabaña. La verdad es que no me parece mal que se acabe el mundo. Ansío la llegada de un nuevo amanecer para todos nosotros. Así que voy a echar a andar en la dirección opuesta. Sigue avanzando en silencio por el camino que se aleja de la cabaña. Sí, claro que sé a dónde
Somehow I
voy.
doubt that, but fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin.
Vale. Va bien, esto va bien.
Good. What we're being asked to do here is wrong. Better to wash our hands of this whole situation than to take part in it. Ignore that annoying little voice. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
El héroe está de acuerdo conmigo.
That's strange. It looks like this path
Vaya.
also leads to the cabin.
Qué
How
casualidad.
convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
¿No me puedo ir? Darte la vuelta otra vez y marcharte otra vez.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
No sé qué decirte, narrador. O sea, ya a esta altura no me convence eso. Que me da igual. No pienso matar a la princesa. Pues vale, igual sería mejor que murieran todos. Es lo que se merecen por dejarme tirado en el bosque y pedirme que mate a alguien por ello. Por más chantajes emocionales que me haga, no pienso aceptar. Seguir avanzando en silencio por el camino. ¿Pero por qué camino? ¿Por el que lleva a la cabaña o por el que se va? Voy a decir este.
When I said everyone, I meant everyone. That's a pretty large group to just condemn to death over a single princess.
No, perdona. Yo no voy a salvar a nadie. Yo me voy. Qué
And
diferente.
last I checked, you're part of everyone too. So if you think about it, walking up to that cabin and slaying her is really in your best interests as well. But fine, you turn around and trek back
Vale,
down the
¿me
path
voy?
you came.
¿Otra vez?
Oh, would you look at that? You're at the cabin again. Now, I'm not normally one for superstition or astrology, but I have to say, it seems like the universe itself is doing its
Creo
best
que no
to
nos
bring
podemos
you
ir,
to your fated confrontation with the
Es verdad.
princess.
Así, pues me voy. Pues me da que voy a ponerme a andar en la dirección opuesta otra vez. De hecho, pienso recorrerme el bosque entero si hace falta hasta encontrar una salida.
There's
Dale.
always a choice. Let me tell you right now that you're making the wrong one for pretty much everyone who's ever lived, as well as for everyone who ever
Te
will.
sorprendería, narrador. En este punto me cae mejor la princesa que el narrador, la verdad.
And here we go. As you trudge into the
Mira la
woods,
casita
something
feliz.
strange starts to happen.
Oh shit.
At first, it's little flickers out of the corner of your eyes. Glimpses of familiar wooden structures through the leaves.
¿Me está persiguiendo la casa?
But as you focus on your surroundings, you start to realize that those flickers
Tío.
weren't just a trick of light.
Ya no hay una cabaña, ahora hay un pueblo entero.
In every direction, there is a path and a cabin. And not just a cabin, the cabin. An infinite fractal of paths and cabins.
La música se ha puesto tensa,
to draw you back to where you need to be. Wait, what's going on?
Ya me estoy mareando.
But you're too stubborn for that, aren't you? It doesn't matter how many paths or cabins appear around you, you're just going to do whatever you can to shirk your responsibility because you care more about irritating me than you do about the fate of the world.
Pues sí, la verdad.
You've doomed us all, you know that, right? But of course you do. Otherwise you wouldn't just wander off into the forest in search of certain death. You lose track of just how long you spend aimlessly tromping through the wilderness, but it's not like any of that time spent lost in the woods really matters, because it isn't long before the world ends and everyone dies.
Ya está. Good ending. Capítulo 2, la extraña.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Claro, porque es la extraña porque no la he conocido.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
No estás de broma, la última vez destruyó el mundo, ¿verdad? ¿Qué cojones es la princesa? Mentí. Sí, claro, ahora mismo voy a la cabaña donde sin duda alguna voy a dar muerte a la princesa. Avanzar en silencio. Si no puedo escapar de la cabaña, me voy a quedar aquí en el bosque para siempre. Quedarte en el bosque para siempre. Y yo, pero escúchame. Es verdad, hay un muro ahora. No puedo irme. ¿Qué hacemos? Ahora tengo curiosidad. Claro, es que me da toda la curiosidad de saber qué habrá pasado con la princesa. ¿Le mentimos? En plan, vamos a la cabaña y simplemente para verla, a ver cómo está.
You know I can tell when you're lying, right?
Mierda.
Please take this seriously. I am begging you.
Claro, tampoco como si tuviera más opciones, la verdad.
A warning before you go any further.
Hay un putísimo muro, en plan, de aquí no te mueves hasta que mate a la puta princesa.
She will lie,
Hijo de puta.
she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her.
Vale.
Don't. If we're stuck going in there, maybe we should believe her.
El
Maybe
objetor
she
ha
isn't
vuelto.
a liar. Ignore him. He's just being difficult for the sake of it. Let's keep an open mind.
Ir a la cabaña.
The cabin interior is wrong. A confusing patchwork of many cabin interiors, all projected across what's almost the same space. But it's all shifted. An inch here, a foot there, such that the seams are never quite
¿Qué ha pasado
visible
aquí,
enough
tío?
for the place to make any sense.
Se ha bugueado la cabaña porque como ha mezclado, como sacó 300 cabañas, pues se ha rayado ahora el juego, tío. Ya me la ha roto, narrador. Es lo que has
The
hecho.
only furniture of note is a plain table, its legs all the wrong lengths. Its material devoid of feature.
Lo voy a coger. ¿Cojo el puñal o no lo
Is a
cojo?
pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Mejor no la cojo, ¿no?
If he wants us to take it, maybe we should just leave it to collect dust. Or better yet,
El
grab
objetor
it
es,
and
claro,
throw it out the window. What good is a knife
como
if
le he
it's a
llevado la
world-ending
contraria todo el rato
monstrosity
antes.
anyway? No, we're taking the knife. Have you seen this place? We have literally no idea what to expect and no idea what we're dealing with. I've already told you what you're dealing with. You're dealing with a princess. How many times do I have to explain this incredibly simple and straightforward premise?
Pues si fuera verdad, por lo
You
menos.
can't just say that. Not when everything here is so wrong. Listen to me. My job is to describe facts as facts and to guide you through your job, which is to
Escuchaba algo
slay the
raro, ¿estáis
princess
escuchando
and
eso?
through that action save the entire world.
Escucho como un susurro aquí, en este lado, en este auricular.
And if you're going to slay her, you cannot let fear creep into your heart. You cannot lose yourself before you even get to her. Oh, ho, ho, ho. You've piqued my interest. What's going to happen if we lose ourselves?
Interesante.
Nothing, because you're going to pull yourself together. Just ignore the stressful geometry and stay calm.
Vale.
How? Even if we closed our eyes, you're constantly describing it to us. I'm not going to stop doing my job, so you're just going to have to get better at yours. And quickly, if you don't mind.
Vale, señor.
Yes, take a deep breath. I'm all for getting under his skin, but we'll miss out on loads of fun if we shrivel up into a ball and go insane the first time we see something weird.
Es gracioso porque la primera cosa extraña creo que eres tú mismo, porque eres una cosa muy rara, eres un monstruo.
What you're seeing here is obviously real. Just accept it and go with the flow. It really isn't hard.
Vale, vale.
Okay, I'm fine. Good. Now, whenever you're ready, we're all waiting for you to complete a very important task.
Me voy a acercar al espejo otra vez, tío. Siempre es importante ir al espejo. No sé por qué, pero... No ha dicho nada del espejo.
We should look at ourselves. Wouldn't that be fun? You won't be looking at yourself because there isn't a mirror. There's the table, the blade sitting on the
Es
table, and the
rarísimo
door
que
to
no
the
pueda ver el
basement. There's
espejo el
nothing else in
narrador,
here.
¿no? O sea, todas las voces que están con nosotros pueden verlo, pero el narrador no.
There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. You insisting it isn't there just makes me want to
Pero
look
creo
at
que
it
nunca va a
even
pasar
more.
nada. Creo que lo del espejo es simplemente como una anticipación, ¿no? De cuando te lo encuentras luego más adelante. ¿Por qué iba a mentir sobre algo así?
Exactly. Why would I lie about something so meaningless?
No,
What
porque
good
iba a
would a
mentirte
mirror
yo,
even
tonto.
do? You waste time preening yourself instead of doing what needs to be done.
A saber. Voy al espejo igual.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny. You reach forward
Desaparece.
and rub your hand against the cabin wall.
Nunca podemos tocarlo.
I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
¿Servirá solo para que te veas la mano y digas, un momento, ¿qué coño soy?
But it was there a second ago. And now it's gone. You know that taking the mirror away from us isn't going to change things, right? We'll find it again, and then we'll see whatever it is that you don't want us to see.
Interesante. Lo que ha dicho el objetor. Dice, sabes que quitarnos el espejo no va a cambiar nada, ¿verdad? Lo volveremos a encontrar y veremos lo que sea que no quieras que veamos. A lo mejor sí que sabe que está ahí el espejo. Y no quiere que lo veamos. Algo así raro. No sé. Vamos al sótano.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a web of
bueno, a lo mejor
branching
llego.
staircases all built from unidentifiable materials.
A lo mejor llegamos. A ver, esto es un... Si voy por aquí y salto aquí o algo así... No, esto no tiene salida. Te imaginas, tiene que hacer el laberinto.
Nothing here seems to belong, and the closer you examine your surroundings, the more confused you get, your head throbbing with the effort of making sense of this place. None of the stairs even seem to go anywhere, let alone down.
Estaba para abajo.
The air here has a sickening, almost sludge-like miasma to it, the kind of indiscernible quality that comes from the blending together of every scent there is
El
at once.
liquidillo que se te queda de la
An
basura
odour
cuando
that
vas a
is
sacarla.
simultaneously everything, and yet the sum of it all coalescing into a thick,
¿Cuál
nauseating
es?
nothing.
Moira referencia.
If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice, a disquieting collage of tone and personality, drags up the stairs.
Hello? Hi. What are you doing here? Are you here to kill?
¿Qué cojones nos vamos a encontrar, tío?
No.
Que vaya
No,
bien,
thank
Ro.
you. Oh, don't be such a baby. I don't want to do this. Let's just turn around and leave. This feels wrong. This feels like a trap. Like whatever we do, we're gonna die. We don't even have a weapon.
No la hemos cogido.
But we already tried turning around and leaving, didn't we? And he threw up a wall. No way to go but forward. And whatever choice we make, whatever she is, we know one thing for sure. And what's that? That the fate of the world hinges on your success? There'll still be plenty of ways to ruin his day.
Me cae bien el objeto. A ver. Vamos por la escalera de la izquierda, abrupta. ¿Ir por la escalera del centro o por la escalera de la derecha? Suave. ¿Suave, centro o abrupta de la izquierda? Vamos por el centro, ¿no?
You step onto the center staircase. Paths wind out around you in all directions, each step branching into its own staircases, which branch into their own staircases, and so on. You aren't quite sure if yours is taking you up or down, but at the very least, it's taking you somewhere.
Vale, eso es bueno.
You concentrate on where you are, careful not to stray onto any of the many splitting branches that tempt you on all sides. You wouldn't want to have to backtrack to yours once you'd made a decision that took you someplace else. And so you take one careful, focused step after another.
Espérate a ver si llegamos.
Another foot down, another after that. You lose yourself in following the correct pattern, in following what looks to be the true path, the one that cuts straight down, or up, or maybe sideways. But no matter the direction it goes, it certainly is the most true path. You know that much.
Bueno.
You slowly lose sense of yourself the further you go.
¿Qué está pasando?
Time disappears, and you can feel yourself begin to untether.
Me estoy deshilachando. ¿Qué le pasa a mi mano? Ahora es un pollo. ¿Qué cojones es esto, tío?
Physical sensations dull and then vanish.
¡Oh, no!
The only things experienced
Se ha convertido en un
are the
sketch.
endless repeating patterns and emotions of the journey. A continuous march forward to a destination long forgotten.
Pero... No sé si voy a llegar, espérate.
Consumption and betrayal.
¿Qué cojones?
Skepticism and blind devotion. Rivalry and submission. Terror and longing. Pain and unfamiliarity. And at the heart of it all, an emotion that can only be described as...
Can I help you?
Me he cagado. ¿Cojones? ¿Hola?
What the hell was that? What happened to us?
¡Qué susto!
I feel so strange. Like I'm fundamentally different, but also still the same person I was at the
Pues
top
parece
of the
bastante
stairs.
normal, ¿no? ¿O qué?
Oh well, that was a trip, but now it's over. Time to get back to our old devilish ways. The princess. Eyes bright but otherwise shrouded in darkness.
Bueno, sigo sin tener.
watches
Como
you
tenga que ir a por el
impatiently from the
cuchillo,
other
voy a
side of the
apañar, ¿eh?
basement. Don't forget why you're here. And why are we here again? In case you weren't listening, I'm afraid I lost myself on the way down. You're here to... He's just being an ass, we remember. Though I'm still not sure if we should trust you. Let's talk to her for a bit, try and get our bearings. She seems normal.
Sí, la verdad que sí. Lo siento, no me había dado cuenta que estaba aquí. ¿Cómo te llamas? Bajar hasta aquí ha sido... No, ha sido raro. Como si me hubiesen partido y vuelto a juntar. ¿Tenía idea de qué me ha pasado? Vale. Le voy a preguntar a esta.
I don't remember what it was like before I was in this place. Why would I know what happened to you?
Es rara esta princesa, ¿no? ¿O qué?
We're probably stuck down here forever, aren't we? There's no way out, and barely a way
Vale,
in.
están pasando cosas raras.
As the princess speaks again, it's almost as if she fractures. And where there was once just one of her...
Todo esto lo ha provocado el narrador, tío.
We can do that? I don't like this. It's those cabins all over again. Can we put her back?
Como si fuera un puzzle.
Again? Have you been here before?
El narrador no lo entendería.
Should we tell him?
Es demasiado profundo.
Nah, let him stew.
Deja que se raye.
Right, I'm telling him. Yeah, we've been here before, but we never went to the cabin. We just turned around and left.
Me gusta mucho cómo se mueven, tío, las imágenes.
Until... It's hard to describe. Until the only thing we could see was the same cabin going on forever. And then you told us that the world ended and we died. And then we woke up, and I'm pretty sure you're familiar with all the rest of it. It seems to me like you saw something you weren't supposed to have seen. If only you'd listened to whatever words of wisdom you were given in that other reality. But what's done is done, isn't it? Whatever you saw last time, unsee it. Whatever thoughts weaseled their way into your head, unthink them.
Ya, pero esto es así por tu culpa, narrador. Porque multiplicaste la cabaña un montón de veces.
Oh, new plan. Let's see if we can make even more of her.
No. Ahora eres más. ¿Cómo te llamas? Voy a sacarte de aquí, intentar liberarla. Porque esto se marca junto. ¿Qué está pasando? No sé qué eres, pero no puedo fiarme de ti. Aquí no me puedo fiar de nada. Dejarla en el sótano, ya por la hoja. Porque estas tres están como pegadas. Es rarísimo, ¿no? Hola, Peligamer. Más princesa. Una Wanda. Ya se fue Tracer, estoy rota, pero lo pasé muy bien, eso es lo importante. Ahora eres más.
There must be something wrong with you. I'm the same as I was a moment ago. I don't feel like I've gotten any bigger.
Vale, responde de forma separada. Bueno, vale, está la normal, la asustadiza y la molesta. Okay.
She fractures again.
Pero ¿y a quién apuñalo?
I don't like where this is going. Neither do I. Which is why you need to slay her now before things get more complicated than they already are. How would we even do that? Where would we start?
Sí, buena pregunta.
We'd always start by retrieving the blade. Can we even leave this place? I don't like thinking about what might happen to us if we have to go.
Claro, eso es lo que he dicho yo antes. Que volver, pues es imposible.
Well, that's where the blade is. If you want it, you'll have to go and get it. I don't think we're going to be able to put her back. Kind of hurts to think about it, doesn't it? It's like everything we say just multiplies her. It certainly looks that way, so please, for the love of everything, stop asking her questions and stop.
Yo quiero ver cuántas veces se multiplica, tío.
Things worse.
Ve, estas tres opciones están juntas. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Princess.
Princesa.
You can address me as your Royal Highness or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
¿Quién está hablando ahora? Esta, ¿no?
It doesn't matter. I've been down here for so long. What's the point of a name if there's no one around to use it?
None of them have names. How astute. I told you she was untrustworthy.
Imagino que si está aquí encerrada es por algo, ¿sabes por qué?
Is this a quiz? If you're here, then surely you know why I'm here.
No, la verdad.
But you know, right? You have to know. You're the only other person I've ever seen. Or at least the only one I can remember. Don't give me false hope. Please just end this already.
Le da igual.
One way or another, just do it.
Dice, acaba con esto de una vez, de un modo u otro, hazlo.
Don't be coy. We both know why I'm locked away
Me acabo de cagar.
I'm a monster. And the second I get out of this place, I'm going to end the entire world.
Bueno, pues ya lo sabe, no se lo tengo que decir yo.
Okay, this was fun for a bit, but we can't even really interact with her.
Falta una aquí.
What's the point of asking questions if all we're going to get is a million answers? Can't even follow what's going on anymore. We need to get out of here. This whole place is making me itch.
Si te dejo salir, ¿qué hará?
I don't think I can answer that question in a way you'd find meaningful. I just want to live my life.
Vale, ha salido otra. Yo creo que ya no podemos sacar más, ¿no? O sea, lo hemos conseguido, la hemos sacado todas.
I'm not going to dance for you. Besides, you already know what I'm going to do. If you want to put an end to me, then put an end to me.
Not a single real answer. At least aside from Miss Blood and Destruction, it's infuriating, isn't it?
Doña Muerte y Destrucción está aquí, supongo, ¿no?
Whose buttons are there for us to press? Whose skin is there for us to get under?
A este le gusta cabrear a la gente,
Not
por lo que
exactly
veo.
how I'd put it, but I don't disagree. There must be something we can do. Asking questions just seems to make things worse. This is reaching its breaking point. If you don't act now, there will be nothing in here but her. Take a deep breath and focus up.
Vale.
But how do we decide what to do? Can there even be a right choice when all of them are so different?
Literalmente las tengo que seleccionar todas, o
Stop
sea que...
overthinking it. Your drifting thoughts have clearly been part of the reason this situation has gotten out of hand. You're trying to do the right thing. There's
Hemos
only
roto la
ever been
realidad.
The one option, and that option is slaying her. Just do something. Do anything. Do all of it, if that's what you want. This place is hell, and it's only getting worse.
Ya está tardando en poner emote de Navidad, no vea. Ve, no puedo.
Wait, that's not right. Go on. You take a step forward. Your foot lands, but it lands different. You experience a firm footfall, a gentle
está pasando?
tread, a confident stride. You can feel yourself rupture. The room spins, your perception multiplying in a sickening kaleidoscope as your very self is pulled in incomprehensibly many directions. You find the blade suddenly in your hands. All at once you use it to strike at her bindings as you remain upstairs and slay her and leave her to languish alone.
Vale.
Is this what the end of the world looks like? What an unbearable mess.
Claro, son todas las posibilidades a la vez, ¿no? Matarla, liberarla, no sé qué más. Y irme, ¿no? ¿O qué?
But this... we can't...
Se está rompiendo todo.
Do you not have anything
Oh, shit.
witty to say? I could use a good bit of wit right now. No, I don't, because this isn't fun.
Se están
How are we supposed to
mezclando.
have fun if everything is
Se
happening
están
at the same time?
mezclando.
It's the same as nothing happening, and nothing is excruciating. Luckily for all of us, nothing and everything doesn't go on forever. The world and the princess collapse in on themselves before it all
¿Se ha apagado la voz del narrador?
falls apart. I think he's gone.
Bueno, la realidad se ha venido abajo.
We were never going to salvage this, were we?
What happened to us? What are we? There are parts of us that are dead, and others, they just don't fit. They just don't fit. We can feel them moving around in spaces they don't belong. It's all so uncomfortable.
Es terrorífico.
Did you do this? Did we do this? Can you pull us back apart? Can you fix us?
Que vengan las manitas. Creo
We
que es lo
should
único que podemos
help
hacer.
her. I think we did this. How surprisingly sincere. I didn't actually think our actions had consequences. It's a little late for regret, isn't it?
Please.
Todo va a salir bien. Voy a hacer todo lo que pueda. No tengo claro que se te pueda arreglar. No, acabas de destruirlo todo. No voy a arreglarte. Voy a hacer todo lo que pueda. Ya vienen las manitas. Vale. El espejismo de la elección. Pero nunca sabrás si ha oído tu respuesta. Ha desaparecido. Los recuerdos regresan.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her?
Hola, Sergeri.
Oh, there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Bueno, señor. Adiós, me acerco al espejo.
This,
Te acerca al
this
espejo.
doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final.
No parece buena idea, parece diferente, definitivo.
Yeah, don't look at it. I don't like that thing.
¿Era el último final que necesitábamos? No creo, ¿no? Las voces parecen pequeñas, distantes, a medida que te acercas. A ver cómo estamos. Reina el silencio cuando avanza. Han vuelto a irse. El espejo siempre lo echa, pero necesitas ver qué hay en él. Te has desentrañado. Vale. Una vez más te encuentras en el silencio eterno. Vale, pues vamos a hablar con ella. Vamos a hablar con ella.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. I am curious to see what it means for us to know it.
¿Crees que hay gente ahí fuera?
It doesn't matter if there are. People are too small for us. You and I are the only things that interest me.
A ver si que vamos a ser dioses de verdad. Hola, Ale Juan, ¿qué tal estás? ¿Crees que algo de lo que hay ahí fuera es real? ¿Crees que nosotros somos reales? Esto profunda la pregunta, tío.
Real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, nothing can't exist.
Tiene un punto, ¿no? ¿Qué opinas sobre este receptáculo?
These ones are a contradiction. A winding kaleidoscope of paths and walk. They are stretched into a shape not unlike me, but it is a shape they cannot hold. They will make for a rich and vibrant heart.
Vale, bien. Como no fui a la cabaña, son como las posibilidades que pudieron ser. Cuando me mandas de vuelta no estoy solo, hay voces que me hablan. Algunas de ellas soy yo, pero hay una que no, la llamo el narrador, y quiere que te mate. ¿Tienes tú un narrador? ¿Tenían uno los receptáculos? Esta pregunta es interesante, ¿eh?
No, their minds are empty, existent, but constantly shifting into something new. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
¿Crees que el narrador vive en los espacios que hay más allá? Sí, no sé por qué, pero sé que es un hecho. Sí, no sé qué haré cuando lo encuentre. Sí, cuando lo encuentre los dos, por fin obtendremos respuesta. Sí, y cuando lo encuentre lo mataré. Sí, pero no se lo va a decir a nadie. Si en algún momento lo encuentro, es verdad que podré por fin hacerle preguntas, ¿no? ¿O qué?
Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves.
Muy profundo. ¿Sabes qué pasará cuando llegue tu despertar?
If I did, I would already be awake.
Sí, pregunta tonta, ¿no? ¿Cuántos receptáculos me faltan?
One. Whatever you bring me next will be enough. And then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular. A final multitude.
Hostia, espérate, esto es tocho, o sea... Yo creo que lo que nos está diciendo aquí dice, uno, me traigas el que me traigas, la próxima vez será suficiente. Luego la gravedad atraerá el resto hacia mí. O sea, no necesitas todos los finales, sino a lo mejor si hay 7, con que consigas 5 vale. Y ya está. Entonces, incluso habiéndotelo pasado, tiene rejugabilidad. Oye, pues eso es interesante, ¿no? ¿O qué? ¿Y qué nos queda por hacer? O sea, pregunta seria. ¿Hay algo en concreto que quieres que te traiga? ¿Cuántos finales hemos conseguido? Este era el cuarto. Cuando todo el hilo sea tensado. O sea, que le da los bimbos. Vale, pues estoy listo. Para regresar. Cuidado, que se viene.
I will be here, waiting for you.
Vale, pues siempre me asusto, tío. ¿Qué intentamos ahora? Llévale la extraña a ella.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Y si guardamos aquí, en plan, vamos a guardar aquí. Por si nos apetece buscar lo otro, ¿no? Pues salvarla y en la segunda run matarla. Y si voy con el cuchillo y no lo suelto, que fue lo que hice la primera vez. Es que, claro, estoy pensando en cosas que no he probado. Halchi, muchísimas gracias por ese pedazo de Prime. Muchas gracias por esos 2 mesacos. Espero que te encuentres muy, muy bien. Muchas gracias por el apoyo. Los loops ahí, bien bonito. Para esta bonita persona. A ver, no podemos repetir, así que no pasa nada por intentar cosas raras, ¿no?
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Es que claro, se me ocurren muchas posibilidades que no hemos probado, ¿no? Como por ejemplo, intentamos salvarla a tope y luego por la cara la apuñalamos. ¿No? Por ejemplo. Me da la sensación y que incluso...
You make your way up the
O encerrarla en
short
el
path to the
sótano.
cabin. You'll find the princess within.
Hay tantas posibilidades. Es que creo que cada ruta puede terminar de forma diferente, ¿sabes? Aunque sea lo mismo al final, pero... Quiero decir, el fragmento que le llevas, pero como que hay muchas posibilidades, ¿no?
We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
Podemos encerrarla en el sótano.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Que eso no lo hemos probado, encerrarla y pirar, ¿no?
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The blade is your implement.
Uy, me he saltado
You'll
la...
need it if you want to do this right.
Vamos a coger la hoja.
You take the blade from the table.
No hay
It'd be rather
espejo, no,
difficult
pero el
to slay
espejo
the
siempre sale en la
princess and
segunda
save the
run.
world without it.
O sea, en el capítulo 2. El espejo no está en el
The door
primer
to the
capítulo.
basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place.
Bueno, sí, narrado.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Yo quiero mi espejo.
Who's there?
She sounds dangerous.
Entonces, ¿qué hacemos?
It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Nos peleamos con... Bueno, nos peleamos. ¿La intentamos matar? En plan... ¿Hacemos la situación tensa en vez de soltar la hoja como ella nos dice para hablar? ¿O la dejamos aquí encerrada?
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. Good. You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far
Tengo un
wall
pincho.
of the basement.
Asústate, no sé. Eso de matarla no se había hecho ya.
She's
Sí,
so
pero
coldly beautiful.
la primera run que
Is
hice
she really a threat to the world?
podía no soltar la hoja o soltarla y hablar con ella, ¿sabes? Entonces, a lo mejor no soltar la hoja.
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you
O
going
dejarla
to
aquí
kill me
encerrada.
or something?
Aún no lo he decidido.
How about you drop the knife and the two of
¿Ves?
us just...
Aquí que te dice, suelta el cuchillo. Yo la primera vez lo solté.
Look how reasonable she's being. We should just drop the blade and talk things out. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very
O la
becoming of
encerramos, no
us.
sé, tío, que hay muchas posibilidades, tío. No voy a soltarla.
You ignore the trembling in your hands and tighten your grip on the blade.
You poor thing. Your hands are shaking. Are you scared of me? Because you should be.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close
Nos
enough to
encerramos
use
con
it.
ella. Eso fue lo que intenté la primera vez y eso recordad que no salió bien, ¿eh?
So, you should just
Porque me
drop
lié,
it.
tío.
Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
Vale. No pienso soltar la hoja.
Then I'm not talking to you.
Vaya. Mira a la princesa con los ojos entornados mientras sujetan la hoja.
You stare at the princess,
En plan así,
squinting.
como el PPS. Volvido, que me perdí, pues no sé, Ro, ¿cuándo te fuiste?
She squints back. The two of you are gonna do this forever, aren't you?
Porque no, es divertido. Mirar a la princesa con los ojos aún más entornados.
You squint even harder. So does she. At least nobody's dying right now.
Parecemos dos
You're
tontos
going
aquí.
to have to make a choice. You can't keep squinting forever. Eventually,
Duelo
someone is
de
going
mirar
to
intensamente.
have to blink.
No voy a soltar la hoja. Porque si suelto la hoja, no sé, voy a pincharla.
Doubt, unfortunately, clouds your thoughts as you attempt to run her through.
Vaya.
A moment of distraction and hesitation is all she needed to sidestep
¿Me va a
your
volver a
thrust and
matar
deliver a
patas?
catastrophic
No, eso no
blow
puede
to your
volver a
jaw.
pasar, ¿no? ¿O sí puede?
It feels like you've been hit with a sledgehammer. You can feel bone grinding on bone where your jaw has been fractured.
Porque tiene tanta fuerza, tío.
Holy shit, that hurt! Though she's unarmed, the shock of that first strike is enough to stagger you, putting you and the princess on somewhat equal footing. Your blade slashes through the air again and
pues,
again, and her
literalmente sí
fists
que nos
connect with
peleamos,
your
¿no?
body as many times or more, each impact as heavy as that first bone-crushing hit. We can still turn this around.
Que sabe karate. No puedo rendirme. Huir y encerrarla en el sótano. Bueno, ya que no estamos pegando completo la tarea, ¿no?
You and the princess stare at each other, both gasping for breath, equally exhausted. You probably
Mira que
won't
soy
make it
un
out of
monstruo
here
gigante y
alive,
aterrador.
but you
Soy
can
un
at least
dragón.
make sure that she won't
Y me
make
va a
it
pegar
out
una
of here
paliza igual,
either.
tío. Ah, me llamo... Vaya.
Excuse me? Do you think this is what I wanted to happen? I have a duty to state the facts of the situation, and honestly, it's a miracle anyone is still standing right now.
Bueno, y tú decías que era solo la princesa.
Can you not feel all those ruptured organs bouncing around in there? If the princess doesn't do our friend in herself, internal bleeding is certain to finish the job. The two of you clash for the final time. You feel your ribs break as she delivers a heavy blow, but you push through the pain, falling forward and sinking your blade deep into the princess's heart.
Oh.
The two of you fall to the floor.
Vale, pues nos la hemos cargado.
This was fun.
Se lo ha pasado
The
bien.
princess
Eso es bueno.
gasps, her voice an unhealthy rasp as her lungs start to fill with blood.
You put up more of a fight than I thought you would. But I have to wonder, do you really think this is the end?
No.
But you don't have time to worry over such things. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Nah, increíble. A putiazo la adversaria. A putiazos con la princesa, el videojuego.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her.
Oye, el
If
sonido
you
de fondo se
don't,
escucha todo
it
fuerte de
will be
repente,
the
¿no? ¿O qué?
end of the world.
Me va a volver a matar. Vamos a la cabaña. A ver qué nos encontramos ahora.
Warning, before you go any further. She will lie, she will
Que
cheat.
sí,
Lying and
narrador.
cheating doesn't sound like her at all. Not that it
Testarudo.
matters. It's not like she can lie or cheat in the middle of a fight.
Are you sure about that? The point of my warning wasn't to start an argument over what circumstances the princess is capable of
El
lying in.
testarudo tenemos
It was to
ahora.
give you
Esa es la
some
primera vez que
broadly
sale, ¿no?
applicable advice. The princess will do and say whatever she thinks it will take to get her out of there. So don't trust her. Ever. Are we clear?
Vale.
Crystal, let's just get on with it already.
Vamos a la cabaña. El testarudo lo que parece un
The cabin is
rudo
tighter
peleón
than
o
its
algo así,
exterior
¿no?
would suggest. Its cold stone walls press in on you, as if trying to forcefully direct you towards your
¿Qué es
destination.
esto? Perdona, ¿ves?
The only furniture of note is a black iron altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
Tendré que cogerla otra vez, ¿no? ¿O qué? Voy al espejo.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here.
No me
What are you
rendiré.
talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe
Ahora
off
parece
that
una
layer of
oficina.
grime.
No está en muchas oficinas, veces. A ver.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the
Nada.
cabin wall. I hope you know there was a
Desaparece,
mirror a
tío.
second ago. And now it's gone. So all of us can stop arguing about it and get to
Este quiere
fighting.
pelear. Vale, pues vamos a coger la hoja.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world without a weapon.
Vamos al sótano.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a rough stone staircase, its walls pressing at your sides and tightening as you descend. The air seeping from below is heavy and
¿Azufre?
oppressive, with an almost sulfuric odor to it. If the princess
¿Cómo que
lives here,
azufre?
slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her fierce voice carries up the stairs.
Fiera voz.
Is that another challenger? Finally. It's been ages since I've had a good fight.
Oh, Dios mío, se han convertido los dos en guerreros.
This isn't what she sounded like last time. Her voice is a little deeper, almost threatening.
Good. Sounds like my kind of princess.
As much as I appreciate the enthusiasm, just make sure you don't let your bloodlust get to your head. You need to stay focused and keep your wits about you. Remember, you're here to slay the princess, not to have a good fight.
Vale.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess
¡Es un
comes into
demonio!
view. A large shackle leading from her wrist to the basement wall.
Es un demonio, mira, tiene cola. Con el Jinsei la brilla de hace 6 años. Te va a reventar.
Looks like she could rip those chains out of the wall without a second thought.
Oh, it's you again. I'd been hoping you'd find your way back here. Good to see that death doesn't stick for either of us.
¿Puedo ser esto un... Lily. ¿Puede ser esto un enemy to lovers?
And you brought your little knife, too. Yes. I'm going to have fun breaking you into little pieces.
Suena bien, la verdad. Ahora sí me puedo arrodillar, no sé. Está distinta. Así que me recuerda. La verdad es que he venido a liberarte. No voy a negar que he venido para luchar, pero antes tenemos que hablar de un par de cosas. Por ejemplo, ¿cómo es que seguimos vivos? Aún no he decidido qué voy a hacer. Da muerte a la princesa. No sé qué te ha pasado de la última vez que nos vimos, pero no pienso luchar contra una demonia gigante. Adiós. ¿Cómo de grande es? O sea, eso es información importante. Está distinta.
You look exactly the same.
All right, fine. If you're not going to address it, I will.
¿Qué cosa?
What? You've already met the princess has already met you. The two of you killed each other. Did you think you'd be able
Narrador,
to just
déjame, de verdad.
openly talk about
Que me estás
it
cortando el
without
rollo.
me noticing? Maybe. You did seem to just gloss over the whole thing for a while. Of course I glossed over it. When a colleague says something insane, glossing over it is one of the best ways to stay focused and keep moving forward. But enough is enough. I believe you. And that's all the more
El
reason
tamaño
to
no
take
importa.
this seriously.
Sí importa.
You don't know that whatever brought the two of you back to life isn't a fluke. And beyond that, do you know who doesn't remember
El
anything
Menda.
that happened last time? Me. I don't
Bueno, a nadie le
remember.
importa, narrador, escucha.
Are you okay? Of course I'm not okay. As far as we're all concerned, the fate of my world is still very much on the line. Not all of us have the luxury of jumping over to a parallel universe the second we die.
¿Saltamos a mundos paralelos al morir? Solo porque sé que te molesta, me lo voy a tomar aún menos en serio. No tienes ni idea de lo apático que puedo llegar a ser. No sé de qué me estás hablando. Yo nunca he muerto. ¿No ves que vivo estoy? ¿Cómo puede verte a alguien tan vivo? No me cuadra. No te preocupes. Lo voy a hacer de perla. Me has pillado. Prácticamente todo lo que has dicho es verdad. Es que si le miento lo vas a ver, ¿no? Tú no te preocupes.
Great. Now focus up and do it then.
Porque vamos a ligarnos al demonio. Un segundo. Así que si me recuerdas.
Oh, I remember you all right. Best 3 minutes of my life. So, why don't we do it again?
3 minutos duré nada más. Joder.
See? She wants to fight us again. There's no reason for us to stand around talking.
La verdad es que he venido a liberarte. Un momento. No voy a negar que he venido para luchar, pero antes tenemos que hablar. Como por ejemplo, ¿cómo es que seguimos vivos?
What is there to unpack? I was dead and now I'm not, and the same goes for you. There. Unpacking done.
Ah, pues ya está. 3 minutos, que fiera.
Don't you get it? We've been given free rein to wail on each other. Forever.
Sí, la verdad que suena a rivales, en
Couldn't
plan.
have said it better myself.
Ese te ha encantado. ¿Qué hacemos? ¿Peleamos con ella? ¿O por la cara le decimos, he venido a liberarte? Me he enamorado. ¿Qué pensáis? ¿Peleamos? ¿Amor? Es un demonio ya, y un demonio muy grande. No sé cómo de grande en comparación a mí, pero... Le decimos, he venido a liberarte.
Free her? You aren't.
Shh, calla, estoy explorando mis
Tell me
posibilidades,
why I'm
narrador.
even bothering, to be honest. You know the stakes of the situation.
Who says I want to be free?
Ah, pues no quiere. Si no quiere ser libre, entonces ¿qué es lo que quiere?
I want the two of us to fight to the
Ah, pues
death.
solo quiere pelear.
I want to feel your knife split my flesh, and I want to hear your bones
Ugh.
snap beneath my fists. Is that really too much to ask?
Lo que tú digas, reina.
Yeah. Especially that last part.
Don't be such a coward.
I'm
Mi
just
cita
being
ideal.
cautious. If it comes to violence, we can find a way to deal with her that doesn't involve throwing our life away. I'd rather not die again, and I find it deeply disturbing that you seem to relish the thought
Que
of it.
aproveche, vete la cena.
Because it doesn't matter if we die again. It'll just be another opportunity to have the fight of our life.
We don't know that for sure, and I'd rather not bet on it.
Intentar liberar a la princesa. Yo creo que si intento liberarla me va a pegar un cat y me va a dejar tonto, ¿no? Vamos a atacarla si ella quiere luchar. ¿Y si le digo que aún no he decidido lo que voy a hacer?
And why not? You decided what to do with me quickly enough last time. Are you scared I'm going to kill you again?
Me está
Maybe you're
provocando.
worried I'll put you down for good this time. If you want to talk, I guess I can talk. But you should come a little closer first.
Uy. Vale, a ver, un segundo. Pelea, pelea. ¿Nos acercamos o atacamos? Porque yo creo que si me acerco me va a reventar, ¿no? A ver, cosas buenas. Si nos acercamos lo vemos mejor. Cosas malas, seguramente me reviente, ¿no? ¿Atacamos? ¿Nos acercamos? ¿Atacamos? ¿Atacar?
Finally ready to complete your destined task, you launch off the wet stone floor of the basement and catapult yourself headlong towards the princess. Here we go. Let's make this count.
Bueno, vamos a volver a morir seguramente, ¿no?
Oh, we'll make it count, all right. As you bridge the gap,
Lo
your
que
blade
pasa
slashes across the princess's chest,
que
splitting
injusto que ella
skin
esté
and
atada, ¿no?
drawing a jagged line of bright red blood. But she's unfazed by your onslaught. Her expression barely changes as her fist collides with your ribs, cracking them like twigs and driving you right back down.
Y tú
to the
llevas un
basement
cuchillo.
floor.
Bueno, un cuchillo de mierda, vaya.
You can hear her chains snap as you struggle to recover from the impact.
¡Oh! ¡Se ha soltado!
She almost looks disappointed in us. Why is she disappointed in us?
Oh, you don't actually get it, do you?
¿El qué?
That knife may be sharp, but you clearly don't want to kill me.
Ah, ¿no?
It's not fun if you hesitate. It's not fun if you try to trick me and make me bleed out. It's only fun if you go straight for the heart. You need to put everything you have into seeing me dead. Or what's the point?
Amor.
So don't be afraid. Don't hesitate. Kill me.
Don't let her get in your head. Reincarnation or not, this world needs you to win.
Bueno, a ver, pero si literalmente me está diciendo que la mate con
She's
fuerza.
huge,
O sea, que
but
me
the
fuerce para
problem
ello.
is she's slower than us. Take it slow, think it through, and don't panic. Bleeding her out is our best course of action.
Pero eso dice que no es divertido.
Don't listen to them. She understands something that they don't. The only way to win, the only way out of this is through her.
Aprovechar cualquier hueco en su defensa. Correr. Y superarla. Y a por el corazón de frente. A ver, si voy por el corazón de frente. Me va a dar un cate gigante, ¿no? O sea, vamos a intentar hacerle ahí un poco a la 13-14.
You push yourself off the ground and attack the princess, trying to bait an opening. You do your best to outplay her, slashing out and leaving red cuts in the tattered remains of her white dress.
Suena
Little room to
viscosito.
maneuver.
Está rico.
For every glancing blow you manage to land, she slams you against the wall in retaliation, each impact threatening to be the last.
This weak little dance isn't working. Just toughen up and overpower her.
She's throwing us around like a ragdoll. I think overpowering her is a little out of the question.
Se me ha caído el pincho.
Did you think you could stop me with a few cuts? All this dancing around is doing nothing but annoying me. I own this place, and I own you.
Eso no suena mal.
The princess's arm
Hostia.
shoots forward, her palm wrapping around your head, fingers gripping your skull.
Pero es que encima es más grande que yo. Oye, ¿y los cortes que le he hecho? Madre mía. Ganamos, Udendi.
How disappointing.
Me va a aplastar la cabeza como si fuera...
She squeezes, the pressure unbearable as her fingers dig into your scalp. The last thing you hear is the unsettling crack of your skull and the sickening churn of what was your grey matter.
F.
Everything goes dark and you die.
Tendré que volver, supongo, ¿no? ¿O qué? El ojo de una aguja, capítulo 3.
You're on a path in the wood. If you weren't so damned afraid of what she'd do to you, we wouldn't have died back there. Fear is good. Fear keeps us alive.
El perseguido.
We died because you didn't have enough of it.
Este es nuevo.
So what? You'd have us cower in a corner? No, but that place suits her better than it suits us. She's big. We can't hope to find holes and openings down there. We need more room if we're going to survive.
¿Se ha hecho más grande ahora?
Are you suggesting luring her into the woods? Do you have any idea how dangerous that would be? If you lose sight of her, if she manages to slip away, that's it. Game over for everyone.
Narrador, tú no lo entiendes.
yourself
Escúchame, este es el
included.
tercer capítulo ya.
Are you not challenging us on all the looping? Have you known about it the whole time? Are you the same one we've been talking to since the beginning? Sorry to disappoint what I'm sure must feel like a grand revelation, but that's not what's going on here. We've never met.
¿Seguro?
It doesn't matter. We could go in circles
Yo ya empiezo a
forever.
sospechar,
I don't like staying still for too long. Let's get to the cabin, see this through. It's good to know that at least one of you is still capable of reason. We may have the same destination, but we're not the same. You are still an other, and I don't trust you.
El perseguido tiene razón, ese otro. Me gusta como siempre el capítulo 2 altera a la princesa y la cabaña, mientras que el tercero altera todo el universo, literal. No hemos hablado casi de lo que ha cambiado este sitio. Yo a esto ni siquiera lo llamaría bosque. Es como si la influencia de la princesa se hubiera apoderado del mundo. ¿Qué pasa si no estoy de acuerdo con el plan? Pase lo que pase, parece que las respuestas que buscamos están en la cabaña. Vale, no hemos hablado de esto.
One of many ticking clocks. You can't let her spread any further.
Vale.
Things are always changing. She changed, the cabin changed, we've changed. Why wouldn't the woods change too? Because they're not supposed to have changed. This is supposed to be a path in the woods. If it's not, it means something's gone horribly wrong.
¿Pero él no lo ve o qué? Vale, vamos a la cabaña.
It isn't long before you find yourself at the end of the path, staring up the hill at the cabin. I hope you've given serious thought to your predicament.
Lo que me sorprende es que la cabaña siga en
No
pie.
last advice for us?
Bueno,
No
la última vez que
words of
llegamos al
warning?
capítulo 3 reventó, ¿verdad?
What I gather, you've heard it all before.
Bueno, con el
There's
espectro
no use
llegamos al capítulo
screaming
3.
into the wind.
Creo que sí, ¿no? Que era la princesa y el dragón.
I don't know. Screaming sounds pretty good right about now. I could use a little catharsis. Catharsis is for when we're finished. For now, we need to hold it out in front of us. Something to chase.
Vale, vamos a la cabaña.
The interior of the cabin
¿El
is
espejo?
suffocatingly tight. More of a
¿Dónde está el
glorified
cuchillo?
tunnel than a building. Its stone walls squeeze against your sides, leaving you no choice but to press forward. The only furniture of note is an iron altar jutting out from the wall. A pristine blade perched on its edge.
Literalmente la va a pasar, tenemos que
The
atravesar el
blade is
espejo,
your
¿no?
implement. You'll need it if you're going to do
Hola,
this
Deado,
right.
¿qué tal está?
See? We have even less space than before. We need space or she'll kill us. Take it.
Hay un espejo al fondo de la habitación y ya está.
Maybe it'll go away again. For something to go away, it would have to be there to begin with. Let me assure you, there's no
Habrá que
mirror
coger
here.
el cuchillo antes
The
de
only
acercarse al
thing at the
espejo,
end
¿no?
of the room is the door to the basement. No use arguing. Mirror or not, we need to be there. The why we pick doesn't matter.
I agree with the freak. Let's get a move on already. And worst comes to worst, we can smash it.
Vale, coge la hoja.
You take the blade from the altar. It would be difficult to slay the princess and save the world.
A ver, la última vez no salió muy bien, la verdad.
Good. There's no overcoming her without it. We need every part of us to survive, and that steel claw is as much a part of us as any.
Vale, vamos al espejo.
You step forward and approach the door to the basement, hesitating before you open it, as if you don't see it.
Ah, está delante de
You're
la,
rather committed to the bit, aren't you?
de la
The
puerta al
door's
espejo.
right there. It's right in front of you.
This really is just like last time.
It smells of nothing, yet it's still there.
No huele a nada. Limpiar el
You
espejo.
reach forward and drag your hand across the door leading to the basement. As if on command, it slowly slides open, scraping against the floor as it reveals the dim path ahead.
Why am I not surprised? It was in our way, and now it's not. That's all that matters.
Before you is what may as well be a sheer cliff face. There are enough footholds that you'll be able to clamber your way to the bottom, but it will require
O sea, ni siquiera hay una
careful
escalera. Estoy bajando por una una pared.
The air hissing up from below is warm and wet, like the breath of an enemy locked in close quarters. If the princess lives here, slaying
Cálido
her
y
is
húmedo.
probably doing her a
Cuidado.
favor. Her voice, bold and fierce and impatient, echoes from the chamber below.
Do you have more fight in you than last time? That was such a disappointing show. I know you can do better than that.
¿Será más grande?
Goad her, rile her up. If she's angry, she'll make mistakes.
Bajar hasta el sótano. ¿La provocamos para que salga o bajamos nosotros? ¿Qué pensáis? Es que el otro decía que necesitábamos más espacio, pero no sé. Ya es verdad, cuando sale se va toda la caca. ¿Estás segura de que todavía quieres pelear?
Dead certain. Everything inside of me screams for it.
We need to get closer. She needs to see us to give chase.
A este le gusta que le persigan, ¿eh?
You've nowhere to go but down. You start the difficult journey, gripping the stone, lowering yourself foot by grueling foot. But soon, there is
Estamos
solid
llegando al final.
ground beneath you. Remember every crack and crevice. You'll need to be faster than her. You turn to face
Bueno,
what
cuidado,
lies at the end of the narrow tunnel. The princess, imposing and tightly muscled, grins back at you from the darkness.
Ahora es mucho más grande.
Her face widens into a broad grin.
There you are, knife in hand. How thrilling. Attack me, bleed me, twist the blade in my
gusta,
flesh.
Pinta
Break
regular la
your
cosa.
bones against my body. I want a real challenge this time.
We can't get that close. She'll kill us in the tight space, steel claw or not. Make her come to us, stand beyond her chains, and let her become frenzied. She'll break them. Then we run. I really don't like the sound of this.
Pero este que quiere escapar, supongo, no quiere
It's
pelear,
the
¿no?
only way we live.
Well, what are you waiting for? If we're gonna do this right, you can't be scared. You need to want this as much as I do. So go on. Make the first move. Don't keep me waiting.
Vale, a ver, ¿cuál es la estrategia, equipo? La de correr yo creo que no. ¿Qué pasó después de que me matara?
We've talked plenty. I'm sick of talking. I'm sick of waiting.
Solo quiero luchar.
I'm sick of you standing just out of reach and teasing me with a fight you won't let me have. You disappointed me last time, so you don't get to choose what happens next.
Bloody desire in her eyes, the princess rushes forward, ignoring her chains as they bend and snap. Run.
Vale,
Without hesitation,
¡Que
you turn
viene!
back the way you came and scramble up the ledge towards the tunnel entrance. As you near the top,
shit.
hands desperately clawing at jagged stone, you glance back. The princess is right on your heels. She doesn't bother to scale the wall as you do, instead digging deep into the rock of the cliff face with her fingertips in her rapid pursuit.
Anywhere you go, I will follow.
Good.
A ver, a mí me parece
Reach
esto
the ledge
una
and hoist yourself
bonita
up into the
relación.
tunnel. The
No,
cabin
¿qué?
door finally in sight,
Sus
at
ojos
once
están
within your
arriba.
grasp and infinitely distant.
Ahí estaba mirando. No, estaba mirando los subtítulos. Que están abajo.
What is all of this for? What's the point? You and I are always going to end in violence, so why bother to run? I know what I am. Why can't you be the same? Little bird, where do you think you're going?
Es la segunda vez que me llama pajarito.
We're almost there. Don't think about almost. We're there when we're there. And we'll take the fight with us.
Si le hubiera atacado antes al corazón, lo hubiera
Your
matado.
skin hums tight with adrenaline as you burst through the cabin door and roll onto the grass.
Uy,
You
perdón.
glance back at the cabin as the princess, singular in her desire to destroy you, explodes through the doorway. You are walking a dangerous path. If you waver once, it's all
A ver,
over.
en el momento
So
en el que
get
sale
it
se acabó, ¿no?
right.
Ya salió. Así que F. Que vaya bien, Lunita.
There's nothing left to slow me down. Do you think this is better for you? Do you think this space gives you an edge? Then show me. Show me that you've been worth all the room you've taken up in my head.
Dice, demuéstrame que vale la pena todo el tiempo que he pasado pensando en ti. Cuidado,
Do it.
Está petadísima la princesa, sí, sí,
Be swift, strike true, be where she's not. Let your body move you.
Vale. Ahora eres libre, aquí fuera yo tengo ventaja, pero no tenemos por qué luchar. Yo creo que se le va a sudar el papo. Dar muerte a la princesa.
You leap from the grass and bound towards the princess, keeping low.
Charging me head on? Brave and foolish.
Her body
No,
braces
galleta.
for impact, anticipating the clash. That's where you're both wrong. Left, now! As the princess strikes, your body swerves to the left. She overextends, stumbling as her balance shifts unexpectedly. Strike. Before you can finish the thought, you lash out,
Pues
the
es
blade
muy
slicing
grande,
through her
en
leg.
comparación a
She
mí.
turns to swing again. Right. You move out of the way, but this time it's not quite as
Oye,
clean.
el
You can feel
perseguido
the
es un
bruise already
putísimo
blooming
ninja,
where
¿no?
her
¿O qué?
elbow crashed into flesh. It's nothing. A scratch. Yes, it could be worse. And you managed to gift her another cut in return.
Duelo
I'll
épico.
be damned. We're actually gonna pull this off, aren't we? You just might. But don't let it get to your head. Not until it's over.
Eso, que solo le hemos hecho 2 cortes, relájate.
Yes, finally! This is the hole I felt in my heart. This is what I've needed. This is what I've been missing. This is how it always needed to end. Both of us giving it our all, beating and bleeding each other to death.
Suena a cita, la verdad. Aquí pone hasta morir.
The two of you engage in a devastating flurry of blows, each of you wielding the other again and again. She's stronger, but you're faster, and the deeper the both of you fall into your lethal dance, the more your edge shines over hers. She's slowing down, blood pouring from wounds, splattering at her feet,
vamos a matar?
leaving her weak and unsteady.
Masoquista no, que le gusta pelear, es diferente.
More! Keep going, we can't stop
Me recuerda
now.
a Zeno del Final 14.
You spy an opening, but this time she's waiting for you. She lets you sink the blade deep, trapping you in place long enough to wrap you in her impenetrable arms. You're slammed to the ground.
Me ha dado un abrazo.
Nothing! These blows are nothing to us! But her gambit wasn't enough to close the gap. It wasn't enough to kill you. She stares you down, coughing up a splash of blood as she gasps for breath.
You've outplayed me, haven't you?
¿Te he vencido? No, princesa. Aún podemos enamorarnos y ser felices.
Something feels wrong. Something.
And? Then what happens?
Ah, ya vienen las manos. Se la llevaron. El camino abierto atrae a una enorme enemiga a un terreno ventajoso y vence. Pero no tiene oportunidad de contestar ni nunca la tendrá. Es hora de que te marche. Los recuerdos
She's
regresan.
gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her?
Oye, pues ya tenemos todos los fragmentos.
And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
No te rayes, héroe. Aunque esta supuestamente es la vez definitiva, ¿no? Te acercas al espejo.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final. That thing reeks of death.
Apesta a muerte.
Screw the mirror. We just need to find the princess.
Las voces parecen pequeñas, distantes, a medida que te acercas. Reina el silencio cuando avanza. Han vuelto a irse. El espejo siempre lo echa, pero necesitas ver qué hay en él. A ver cómo es mi reflejo ahora. ¡Eh! Ha cambiado la manita. No eres absolutamente nada. ¡Hay un cuervo! Pero es imposible, no puedes ser nada. Centra en la vista y la ves, una figura débil y envuelta en sombra, más allá del espejo. ¿Eres yo?
I think you know what I am.
¡Oh! ¿El narrador es un cuervo? ¿El narrador está aquí? Una grieta se abre en el centro del espejo y divide la imagen del cristal en dos. Y entonces se rompe un poco más y más y más hasta que el espejo se convierte en trozos irregulares de cristal roto. What? Un momento. Así que eres el narrador. Me preguntaba si te vería alguna vez. Con muchas preguntas. ¿Qué eres? ¿Te pareces a mí en algo? Si no eres yo, ¿qué eres? Tengo muchísimas preguntas que hacerte. ¿Te duele cuando se rompen así esos pedazos de ti? Lo siento, yo no quiero destruirte. ¿Servirá de algo si miro para otro lado o dejo de hacer preguntas? Cada vez que te pregunto algo parece que se rompe un pedazo de ti. ¿Eres parte de mí o eres otra cosa? Tú eres quien quería que diese muerte a la princesa. ¿Por qué? Joder, que pila pregunta. Me he encontrado contigo muchas veces. ¿Has sido el mismo tú todo este tiempo? Se suponía que no debía ver todo esto, ¿verdad? ¿Qué este sitio? ¿Dónde estamos? Un momento. ¿Te parece a mí?
Oh, I'm nothing like you. I'm an echo, likely one of many. Somebody made you after all, and I'm what's left of him. Not that I'm the only one who can make that claim.
Alguien te creó y yo soy lo que queda de él. ¿Qué cojones? No puedo hacer todas las preguntas porque se va a romper. O sea, tenemos que hacer las preguntas importantes. ¿Eres parte de mí o eres otra cosa? A ver, esa pregunta ya la tenemos. ¿Por qué querías que matara a la princesa?
Because among other things, she is death itself. To rid the world of suffering, to save untold trillions from being lost forever to the cosmic wind, she must be destroyed. And despite how far you've fallen, you will still have a chance to fulfill your purpose once I'm gone.
Vale. A ver, un segundo. Es la misma muerte. La princesa es la muerte. Lo que le duela me la pela, tío. O sea, escúchame. Dices que contiene la muerte. ¿Qué?
She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can.
A ver, un segundo. Ella es la amalgama cambiante, el ir y venir, la capacidad de cambiar, es transformación, o la mayor parte. Su naturaleza es la razón por la que tuve que morir, ya que se convierte en lo que otros perciben de ella. Se convierte en lo que otros perciben de ella. Bueno, eso es lo que llevamos viendo todo el juego, ¿no? Pero un eco no percibe nada, no de la misma forma que la gente. Claro, por eso tenía él que guiar a alguien, porque el narrador no percibe. O sea, porque el eco no percibe nada. Espérate, me está petando una neurona. ¿No empeorarán las cosas si acabo con ella? ¿Cómo sería vivir en un mundo sin ella? Tengo muchas preguntas y cada vez que le hago una salen más, tío. Espérate. Si tú me has creado, entonces ¿qué soy?
You're the long quiet, the god I made to rid the world of death.
El silencio eterno. Y ella es la amalgama cambiante, vale. sea, no sé, somos dioses, pero entonces el narrador, ¿qué es? ¿Un super dios o qué? ¿Cómo sería vivir en un mundo sin ella?
Light, burdenless, an eternal pattern of forgetfulness leading into the joys of rediscovery. Everyone will be with the ones they love. No more fear, no more howling chaos. Just life, forever.
Por eso no habla y solo escuchan las voces. Solo se vivirá para siempre. ¿Eso no es como demasiado idílico?
There's a cruel irony to it all. The only way I could share my dream with the world was to never be able to see it for myself.
Si nos has creado tú, quiero que sepas que esto ha sido una tortura. Si quieres que destruya el concepto de transformación, ¿cómo va a ser esa existencia mejor que la muerte? O tan siquiera diferente. A decir verdad parece peor. Sí, ¿no?
When I broke the cycle, I made sure that the tear was rough. You carry a part of what should be her, and she carries a part of what should be you. Things won't be as they are now, but they won't be nothing either.
No me convence, yo creo que me voy a liar con ella y vamos a ser dioses o algo así.
Anything is better than oblivion. In the end, nobody wants to leave.
No me está convenciendo, estás delirando. Yo no quiero ser un dios, solo quiero ser yo. Un dios, siempre supe que yo era especial. Si es capaz de convertirse en lo que la gente cree que es, no sé qué. ¿Eres un dios o lo fuiste?
No. In life, I was painfully mortal. A witness to the end
The
of
final
days.
days.
I held the fear of death in my heart and saw oblivion threaten the very memory of everything I knew and everyone I loved. I needed to do something.
Y creó un dios y solo era un mortal, pues no veas, ¿no?
So I made you. And I made her. And I made this place to hold you both.
Joder, un momento, un segundo. El mundo se estaba acabando y creó dos dioses y uno de ellos tenemos que destruirlo porque... ¿Qué? Un momento. Ya me perdí. Espérate, que esto es una fumada apoteósica, ¿eh? En realidad estoy bastante seguro de que la muerte es buena, importante incluso. A ver, ahí tiene un punto, la verdad. ¿Y a partir de que nos creaste?
The cycle of life and death. The endless pattern of creation and destruction. I tore it in two and shaped the fraying threads into you and her.
Si la destruyo, ¿no me quedaré yo solo? Es una prisión donde os matáis el uno al otro para siempre.
Yes, you will. But it will all be worth it.
No sé yo qué decirte, ¿eh? Me quedan dos preguntas. ¿Qué le decimos, tío? Las dos últimas preguntas. Hola, pollo. Las dos últimas preguntas. ¿Cómo han muerto? ¿Por qué la convertiste en una princesa? Oye, eso es una buena pregunta. Una rebanada de pan reblandecido. ¿Cómo se supone que voy a destruir un concepto abstracto? Oye, esta me parece una buena pregunta. ¿Y si ninguno de los dos abandona este lugar? ¿Podemos quedarnos aquí juntos y dejar a la gente en paz y fuera?
It wouldn't work. Her nature as the shifting mound makes it so nothing can last forever as it is now. It wouldn't matter how long the two of you waited. Eventually she would find a way to leave. And then everything would change. Everything would face oblivion.
Pero narrador, es que las cosas tienen que cambiar.
And until then, the clock ticks on.
Muerte del autor. Quedarse sin pregunta. Quédate tranquilo, la voy a destruir. Tío, yo no quiero destruirla. No le voy a dar muerte y quiero que lo sepa antes de que te mueras para siempre. No decir nada y presenciar su fin. Y yo, hay muchas opciones crueles, tío. A mí me cae bien la princesa también. Es que no sé. No quiero destruirla, la verdad. Le voy a decir, no decir nada y presenciar su fin. Es que, no sé, ¿le miento? Siempre sabe que le miento, así que no merece la pena mentirle. Aún no he decidido lo que voy a hacer. Todavía tengo que ver qué piensa ella de todo esto.
I've said my piece, and my time is up. It's like I said, I'm just an echo. And echoes always fade away. You know what you have to do.
Adiós, narrador. Cuando el último fragmento de cristal se rompe, te ve a ti mismo con una nueva claridad. El silencio eterno. Todo esto eres tú. El narrador tenía razón, era el silencio eterno, un dios inmenso y creciente. Ha llegado la hora de que despiertes. Todo esto eres tú. Ir a la cabaña una última vez. El ojo de la aguja a ella. Cuando llega al final de todo, no hay ningún receptáculo final que contemplar. No hay absolutamente nada.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me.
Vaya putísima paranoia.
It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
Yo también te he echado de menos. ¿Sabe de la existencia del eco? ¿Ha oído nuestra conversación? Yo soy el silencio eterno, pero la verdad es que no sé qué significa realmente. ¿Ha oído la conversación? Bueno, sí, ¿no?
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
Yo soy el silencio eterno, pero la verdad es que no sé qué significa realmente.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
¿Y ahora qué?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it?
A ver, me acaba de llamar pasivo, no sé si eso es bueno o malo.
When the echo spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes.
¿Cómo lo supo?
So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
¿O vas a abrir la última puerta que nos separa de nuestra libertad? A ver, es que, tío, sinceramente, yo creo que un mundo sin muerte... Irónicamente me recuerda mucho a una de las expansiones de Final 14. En la que había una civilización, o sea, tú veías como el recuerdo de una civilización que había alcanzado la inmortalidad. En plan, su mundo era perfecto. Y llegó un punto, o sea, no había muerte, no había nada malo. No había nada malo, solo era felicidad y paz total. Llegó un punto que esa civilización intentó crear una criatura para poder morir, para que los matara, porque estaban ya hartos de que todo fuera idílico, todo fuera bueno, todo, no hubiera nada, ¿sabes? Que no era como, no tenía sentido nada. Entonces, pues... yo qué sé. Hay tantas historias que hemos dejado incompletas, de verdad podemos irnos sin más. Y tú no tienes ni voz ni voto en todo este asunto, ¿por qué depende todo de mí? Vamos a hablarlo, aún tengo muchas preguntas para las que necesito respuesta antes de tomar una decisión. Si te dejo salir, todo el mundo llegará a su fin, no puedo hacerlo. Si iba a convertirte en esto del principio, ¿para qué he hecho yo nada? ¿Acaso importaba qué camino escogiera si todos iban a llevarnos hasta este momento? Tiene que haber otra forma. No puede ser que nuestras únicas opciones sean que te destruya o que te deje salir. No pienso hacer ninguna de las dos. Está muerta la princesa. Creo que ha llegado la hora de que nos marchemos de aquí. Pero no sé cómo podemos hacerlo ni a dónde ir. Pues sí que están aburridos. ¿De verdad podemos irnos sin más?
Even as your eyes begin to open, you still hold on to the notions of is and is not, of beginning and end, pitch black islands in the blinding light of the infinite. There is nothing to resolve, nothing restraining us but us.
Islas de absoluta negrura en medio de la luz cegadora de lo infinito. No hay nada que resolver, ni nada que nos limite aparte de nosotros mismos. Porque todo depende de mí.
Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts.
Los dones del otro. Ahí pone dones. Creo que esto lo tapo yo.
If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict.
¿Acaso importa qué camino escogiera si todos nos iban a traer hasta aquí?
If you're saying that, it's because you don't yet understand. But we cannot use words alone to grasp at things that words cannot express. And you cannot rationalize with logic that which defies it.
Igual que no se puede aplicar la lógica a aquello que la desafía.
Violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it
No,
takes to
no, no,
make me,
no nos peleemos, por
then
favor.
so be it.
I crush you. I bleed you. I grind you to paste. My scars are a memory of what you used to be to me. I want those feelings back.
Ahora voy a verlo desde su punto de vista.
You run, but you do not run away. You take me somewhere new. Somewhere we can dance like we used to. But I could not follow your steps. There was no better gift for me than the gift of defeat. You showed me how much more I could be.
Interesante, la verdad.
We made each other better. To have no challenges to fade into nothing. A life without obstacles is no life at all.
A ver, visto así, la verdad. Recuerdo el momento de mi historia. En cuanto entraste en mi dominio, te destruí. Responder a la intervención del receptáculo directamente. Apelar a vuestra humanidad compartida. Habla de la vida y la muerte, del cambio y del estancamiento, pero este asunto no tiene nada que ver con eso. Rechazar su autoridad. No ha hecho más que tratar de darme lecciones del primer momento. Defender tu independencia. Te comportas como si el mundo no pudiera existir sin ti, pero yo he existido sin ti. Rechazar su perspectiva. No quiero tener nada que ver con la violencia. Permanecer en silencio. A ver, un momento. Esto parece una decisión importante. Me estoy agobiando. ¿Qué le digo, tía? O sea, pero ¿a quién le estoy respondiendo? ¿A ella o a ella? Es que es diferente. A ver, fue guay el momento de no sé qué decirle, tío. No sé qué decirle, ahora mismo estoy pilladísima, ¿eh? Apelar a la humanidad compartida.
Oh, is it not? Perhaps you can enlighten me.
There's no beginning to them, and there is no end. And there is no end. There's only the flood of bodies.
Me estoy volviendo loca.
Every moment you hold every possible sensation at once, and then you hold them all again. And then you hold them all again.
Cada instante que pasa sientes todas las sensaciones posibles a la vez. Luego las vuelves a sentir.
But in the end, you reflected it back at me. For a brief moment, both of us were everything. We can be everything again. We can weave a beautiful and endless song.
Eso me suena bien, la verdad. He visto cada versión de nosotros en cada realidad y en algunas de ellas exhalaste tu último aliento. Aún así seguí adelante. El mundo no te necesita. Seguir apelando a vuestra humanidad compartida. Este asunto siempre ha tratado únicamente sobre nosotros, dos personas que se ven obligadas a hacerse daño una y otra vez. Pero ya no tenemos por qué hacernos daño. Detener la pelea antes de tiempo y rendirte. Lo entiende, no tenemos por qué seguir peleando, me iré contigo. Es solo que no sé cómo hacerlo. A ver, le voy a seguir diciendo lo de la humanidad compartida. No, ya no tenemos por qué hacernos daño.
You cling to your emotion of pain and suffering. There is beauty in ugliness, and love in conflict. What once was one, then was two, and then was one again. You gave me shelter when you burned mine down, and then you struck another match.
Pero luego encendiste otra cerilla.
I pulled you from the ruins, and then we built a life. What once was one, then was one again. The peace didn't last. The worm in your heart came for us. It took you from me, and I took you back. What once was one,
El
then
gusano
was
de tu
two,
corazón que se refiere al
then
narrador.
was one again. You and I are bound together. To rid yourself of me would be to leave yourself forever incomplete.
Yo no quiero deshacerme de ti. Puede haber amor y conflicto y belleza y fealdad entre nosotros sin tener que involucrar a la realidad entera. Claro, esto es para que nos quedemos aquí, supongo, ¿no? Okay. A lo mejor nos podemos quedar aquí y ser felices los dos, ¿no?
We are the whole of reality.
A ver, tanto no, ¿no?
Your love ray takes a stake into your body, and another, and another, and another. Do I miss your heart because I can't stand to see it go? But the stakes meant nothing to you. You had a desire, and you set that desire free. You lifting me, and me lifting you. Forever and ever and ever.
Madre mía, qué fumado.
Consumed by true belief, there was nothing that could hold us back.
Consumidos por una creencia verdadera. No había nada capaz de detenernos. El poder del amor. Nosotros no somos la realidad entera. ¿Por qué no me ves del modo que yo aún te veo? ¿Por qué no me ves por lo que soy? A ver, le voy a decir esto.
I could ask you the same. There is only room for one of us to be blind here, and I know it to be you. We are each other's mirrors, and are we not divine?
A ver, dioses sí que somos, ¿no? En eso estamos de acuerdo. Nos lo ha dicho hasta el otro.
You are weightless and alone, suspended in the gravity of an idea too great for you to hold. A tiny island caught between the death of the old and the birth of the new.
Y el nacimiento de lo nuevo. Esta fue la primera princesa, ¿eh? La
But
diosa.
you did not go quietly. You spat in the eye of that which would claim godhood, and through that defiance, you bound us both together. Without me, there are no externalities to resist. And without you to resist me, there can be no externalities. It is struggle that carves meaning into
Es la
consciousness.
pugna lo que aporta. Esto es de intentar matarla, porque además está en rojo, ¿no? No hagamos una montaña de un grano de arena. Puedes volver a bajar a mi nivel. Puedes volver conmigo. Ese final vamos a hacer... vamos a... Yo creo que sí, ¿no? En plan, ponte a mi nivel, vamos a hacer, yo qué sé, 2 personas normales o algo así, ¿no?
Why would I speak to your level when I'm offering you ascension to mine?
Pues buena pregunta. ¿Por qué me quieres?
It's so peaceful here. Beautiful. Eternal. But ever changing.
Cuando vuestro enfrentamiento pierde intensidad, la princesa se retira temblorosa.
You are unmovable. Is it by the design of our conflict that I cannot win? Or are you just that fervent in how you cling to delusion?
Pues no sé, la verdad.
Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together.
A ver, la verdad que me lo está poniendo difícil, ¿eh? Para Cucú. Es fácil creer en lo mismo que tú cuando puedes verlo todo tranquilamente de arriba. ¿Qué crees que pasaría si nos fuéramos de aquí? Vale, estoy listo para irme, pero ¿cómo nos marchamos? Yo no he querido luchar contra ti en ningún momento, pero ¿cómo nos marchamos? No puedo permitirlo, no puedo dejar que todo muera. Me dijeron que dentro de mí había suficiente esencia tuya para preservar el significado de la existencia. Voy a confiar en que es cierto. Dar vuelta a la princesa. Debo luchar por un mundo mejor, lo siento mucho. Dar vuelta a la princesa. Eres la imagen de la crueldad, así que no puedo permitir que exista. Dar vuelta a la princesa. No sé cuál es la respuesta, pero tiene que haber algo más. No puede haber solo esto. No te voy a matar, pero tampoco te voy a liberar. Has hecho todo lo posible para tratar de hacerme entrar en tu perspectiva, pero no haces más que despreciar la mía. Si tú crees que puedes cambiarme, entonces yo debo poder cambiarte a ti. Hostia. Vámonos. Y yo, en plan, nos vamos con la princesa que le follen a todos. En plan... Vale, vale, ya estoy entendiendo cosas, ¿estás entendiendo cosas? ¿Cómo nos marchamos? Venga, va. Me la pela todo, nos vamos.
Nothing brings me greater joy than to hear those words. The final peace lies with you.
Liberarte. ¿Hemos destruido el universo? Te sume en tu propio interior. El cuerpo de una antigua criatura despierta tras su largo letargo y sientes parte de ti que antes ni siquiera habría sido capaz de concebir. Todo cuanto hay aquí es parte de ti, excepto ella. Sientes tus alas que abarcan una escala cósmica, pero están encogidas y arrugadas, atadas a un plano finito mediante una tensión angustiante. Sientes el cristal de tu jaula oprimiéndote, confinándote entre sus lados y ángulos infinitos. Te resiste y trata de liberarte, pero no cede.
I love you.
I love you. Ahora es bilingüe la princesa. ¿Cogerla de la mano? No, cogerle de la mano, ¿no? De repente toda la tensión cede. Literalmente era el final que queríamos cuando hicimos la primera run, ¿no? De irnos con la diosa. Así que yo creo que está bien. Oh my fucking god. Sois libres y estáis juntos. Wow.
It's magnificent.
No hay palabras ni pensamientos capaces de describir la realidad absoluta. Es algo que simplemente existe. Adentrarte en el infinito. Juntos avanzáis hacia 1000 amaneceres y 1000 atardeceres, cada uno de los cuales contiene 1000 más. Existe y eres consciente de ello, tal y como lo has sido siempre y siempre lo serás. A pesar de que el conflicto está en vuestra naturaleza, nunca estaréis solos y jamás conoceréis el miedo. Al fin, ella y tú estáis en casa. No hay finales, solo nuevos comienzos. Final, ganó el amor. Y al universo que le den por el culo. Vaya putísima fumada de videojuego, loco. Qué barbaridad. Me ha gustado mucho, la verdad. Me ha gustado porque, tío, es como... Empiezas el juego y desde luego no te esperas cómo va a continuar. O sea... Dice, un juego de decisiones en la que tengo que decidir si matar a la princesa o no, a ver qué pasa. La verdad que no te esperas tremenda fumada. Pero está muy bien. Me ha gustado mucho, lo he disfrutado mucho. Lo que me pregunto es cuántas princesas hay. Tengo curiosidad. Porque seguro que hay más opciones, o sea, más posibilidades y todo. Y la música es increíble, o sea, lo hemos dicho ya muchas veces, pero el estilo artístico es increíble. O sea, el de dibujo me gusta mucho y la música también me flipa un montón. Y la historia es una fumada increíble, pero interesante, la verdad. Muy interesante, me ha gustado. Creo que de las princesas que yo he visto, desde luego mi favorita ha sido la de la princesa y el dragón. Y la de la diosa es que fue muy impresionante, como fue la primera. Wednesday, serpiente, Spoons, gata y Nux, monstruita. Qué gracioso. Termina el juego. El final bueno no cuenta. ¡Ojo, pero bueno! Japador, lindísimo. Muchísimas gracias por ese pedazo de tier 3. Muchas gracias por esos 7 me saco. Los loops ahí es bonito. Por esta bonita persona, muchas gracias, de verdad. Muchas gracias por el apoyito tan grande. Muchas gracias por jugar. Con muestra de gratitud, aquí tienes el orden de las pistas de una lista de reproducción solo para ti. Si quieres sacar una captura de pantalla, puedes ocultar la IU pulsando la tecla H. Ah, pues mira. Por si queréis escuchar la banda sonora, pues ahí lo tenéis. Además, ahora que has completado la historia por primera vez, has desbloqueado la galería. Puedes acceder a ella desde el menú principal y el menú dentro del juego. En una pestaña, recuerdo, está llena de pistas que te ayudarán a descubrir un nuevo receptáculo e interacciones. Disfruta, ¿qué dices? ¿En serio? Unirte a Discord, unirte a la lista de correo, unirte a subreddit, seguirnos en nuestras redes, crear tu lista de reproducción, jugar nuestro otro juego. ¿Tienen otro juego? Pues le echaré un ojo, Volver al menú principal. A ver, lo recuerdo. Me cago en la putísima. ¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué cojones? 10%. Literal, 10%. Cada receptáculo en una room, básicamente. Pero yo no pensaba que hubiera tantas, coño. Yo pensaba, digo, bueno, a lo mejor hay como 10. Y te dejan hacer 5. A ver. Es que creo que dentro de cada run hay diferentes posibilidades, Porque mira. Esta sí o que, bueno, la tapo yo, pero aquí está la adversaria. Y aquí debajo está el ojo de la aguja. O sea, las cuenta como dos diferentes. Así que supongo que hay varias posibilidades. Yo el receptáculo conseguí 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 y 8. 8 receptáculos. Y hay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 y 14 más. Qué barbaridad. El ojo de la aguja es la de que se hace gigante Para quienes viven en las cavernas, el significado reside más allá de las sombras que bailan las paredes. O sea, primero se convierte en nuestra adversaria y luego se convierte en el demonio gigante, ¿sabes? Los espacios intermedios. El fin de todo. Pues no veas. Mira, encierra tus miedos. Este seguro que es de encerrarla. No está armada, ¿verdad? Sucumbe a una cautiva salvaje. Traiciónala antes de que lo haga ella. Libera a una prisionera agresiva. Ah, pues esta será seguramente de la adversaria, ¿no? Los ángeles y los demonios están cortados por el mismo patrón. Y mejor no rechazar a un ser orgulloso. Esta seguro que... Claro, si esta es de luchar contra lo divino, esta será de adorarla o algo así. Acaba con tus peores pesadillas o muere a manos del fantasma del pasado. Mejor acurrucarte con tus pesadillas que dejar que corran libres. Hay mejores formas de sucumbir a la naturaleza que dejar que te engulla entero. Hazte uno con la princesa en el sentido literal. Puede que implique que te coman, aunque no es obligatorio. ¿Qué cojones? A veces la única manera de romper un ciclo violento es arriesgar tu corazón. Tras ver los peores panoramas de la prisión que la prisión del mundo ofrece, siempre puedes decidir marcharte con las manos vacías. Los espíritus permanecen por numerosas razones. Las llamas de la pasión, la inundación de palabras que nunca se dijeron. No necesitas el mundo para conseguir tu final feliz. Sí, literal. Ya que hay run que varían según lo que diga o terminan en el 2. Sí, o sea, yo pensaba... Digo, bueno, parece que tiene muchas posibilidades, pero no serán tantas, pues parece que me equivocaba. Pero eso está guay, tío. Porque... Está guay porque vosotros, por ejemplo, podríais decir, vale, pues yo me quiero jugar el jueguito este, voy a jugar a Slay the Princess. Sí que es verdad que habría perdido la impresión inicial, ¿no? Que te da el juego. Pero aún así... Podríais tomar rutas totalmente diferentes u otras decisiones. Mira, puedes ver las ilustraciones. Que me encantan, por cierto. Están súper bonitas. La damisela. Que estas son las otras posibilidades que hay. Hay más de 1000 ilustraciones. Qué barbaridad. A mí es que los juegos que están así... Que están dibujados a mano, como el Neva, tío, como que los valora, ¿sabes? Porque dices, tío, qué barbaridad. Porque creo que Neva estaba hecho con acuarela o así. O sea, una fumada. Te pone su música aquí. Vale un montón, ¿eh? Permite que una voz desconectada exprima tu potencial. Vale un montón. Mi fave es la que se come la mano. Con razón pesa más de 10 gigas. Ya, yo también lo pensé cuando me lo instalé. Digo, tío, me sorprende que pese como eran 16 gigas o así. Un jueguito tan corto, porque en verdad si te pones ahí en plan rápido te lo pasa rápido, pero sí, ahora tiene sentido. Muy guay, la verdad. Me ha gustado mucho el jueguito, la verdad, me ha gustado un montón. Corto, a ver, 5 horas es corto, cabrón. O sea... Le eché casi 300 horas a Baldur's Gate 3. Permita que diga que un juego de 5 horas es corto, ¿vale? Te quiero decir. Yo estuve jugando por mi cuenta y hay algunos receptáculos que son bastante deep. Lo mejor es cuando disfrutas mucho de uno y luego le pide al montículo cambiante que opine. Que te diga lo que piensa del receptáculo, ¿no? Mi tiempo de oro, más de 2 minutos es vicio. Final, destruiste el universo la creación del autor narrador, pero aceptaste que la historia tome su propia forma, que nunca dejará de mutar. En verdad sí, o sea, ¿qué final he sacado yo? ¿Eso se considera bueno o malo? Me he ido con ello. Podríamos, yo sé, habernos quedado ahí dentro. Tío, ya que estamos aquí, mira, he guardado. He guardado antes de conseguir el último receptáculo. Intentamos hacer otro receptáculo y sacar otro final.
You're on a path in the woods.
Porque todavía es pronto,
And
son
at
las
the
10.
end of that path
Y yo tengo ganas de
is a
seguir
cabin.
jugando, la verdad.
And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
No, no tienes ganas. Sin decir nada, hay uno de las espinas que es muy interesante. ¿Y cómo se consigue?
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Estoy cagando, ahora te digo, momento. Estoy por volver a convertirla en una diosa y adorarla. A ver qué pasa. No, no puedo porque ya la he convertido en una diosa, ¿no? O sí puedo. No va a perder el receptáculo. No, mira. Espérate, ¿cómo se sale? ¿Esto qué? Historia. Ah, esto por si te has perdido algún... ¿Cómo se sale de aquí? Recuerdo. Esto ya lo he conseguido. O sea, lo que ya he conseguido, ya lo he conseguido. No lo puedo perder. Ya, eso sí. Cuando haces una nueva run puedes volver a hacerla. Sin querer. Porque ahora mismo,
You make
las
your
que
way
ya he
up
hecho no
the
puedo
short
volver a
path
hacerla.
to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
O una cosa que no hayamos probado, encerrarla, por ejemplo.
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking
No.
about.
Que esa era otra de las ideas que teníamos. Para poder desbloquear algunos tienes que poder volver a cierta situación.
The air is stale and musty,
Claro,
and the floor
lo que
and
yo creo que el
walls are
juego no te
painted in a
dejará,
fine layer
por
of
ejemplo,
dust.
yo
The
creo que
only
podría volver a
furniture of
conseguir que
note
se convirtiera
is
en
a
diosa.
plain wooden table.
Pero no me
Perched on
dejará
that
que
table
vuelva a intentar
is a
pelearme con
pristine
ella, porque eso
blade.
ya lo he sacado en esta run, supongo.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
A ver, coge la hoja.
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
Pues vaya, pues ya cagada. Pues vamos a intentarlo de encerrarla, a ver qué pasa.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below.
Que sí, no
Her
cago.
voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
Lo que tú
She
digas.
sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down
Es
here.
que si incluso también afecta lo que
Don't
le
let it
diga al
fool you.
narrador, no
It's all
veas,
part
¿sabes?
of the manipulation.
O sea, si afecta incluso el primer diálogo. Hola.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Come on down.
Seguro que hay ya
You walk
guías
down the stairs
en algún sitio. O
and
sea,
lock
el
eyes
juego
with
en
the
verdad salió
princess.
hace un año.
There's a heavy chain
Lo que pasa
around
que
her
ahora le han
wrist,
metido la actualización con los
binding her to
idiomas.
the far wall of the basement.
Así que seguro que en internet hay una lista de cómo llegar a cierta situación.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world?
Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
Y 20.000 vídeos de los finales, seguro. Solo quiero hablar.
Then why did you bring a knife with you? How about you drop it, and then we can chat?
She makes a
Tenía
compelling
que
point.
soltarlo.
What if we just dropped the blade and talked? Look at her. It's not like she's a threat. Don't you dare.
Para que me dejara encerrarla.
It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
Vamos a soltarlo.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
Pero no le podemos decir lo de que va...
Maybe now we can just talk.
Lo que va a destruir el mundo no se lo podemos decir.
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess.
¿Cómo
face
será
to
el de
face,
seguro que está desarmado?
unarmed.
Explicaría que hay cosas de por qué mi runfa es de las espinas, pero mejor no digo nada y si quieres para la próxima te digo lo justo y necesario. Ya que resulta ser bastante concreta.
We'll be fine.
Que me imagino que habrá algunas que tiene que ser muy difícil
Don't know what
conseguir.
you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
Croquetas. Como el de la princesa y el atacundo cuando fusionasteis. Ya, creo que ese es raro, ¿no?
So here we are.
Porque hice cosas
What an
como muy
awkward start
random.
to a relationship.
Pero al final salió. A ver, tengo que investigar un poco, ¿no? Es bastante peculiar.
I know. I just said that. Now why are you here to kill me?
¿Sabes por qué tengo que matarte?
That laugh. I think I'm in love.
Creo que esto no pasó la última vez.
Stop it.
I have no idea. To be honest, I don't even know why I'm down here, or how I got here. I was kind of hoping you might be able to shed some light on the whole situation.
No te voy a decir que va a destruir el mundo. Eso no es obvio. Voy a hacer doble check en lo que te decía y así para el próximo te guío, ¿te parece? Que para el próximo, para la próxima run. O sea, que ahora dice Ross que no sé si no puede, si puede ahora. ¿Cuánto tiempo llevas aquí metida?
Too long.
Note the lack of detail.
Un
You
segundo.
can't trust her.
¿Un segundo qué? ¿Cómo te llamas?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as your Royal Highness, or Her Majesty.
Princesa. Y yo le tenía que
Any
haber
honor with
preguntado
it
al
you do,
cuervo
really.
por qué una princesa, en verdad.
Again, she offers no specifics. No matter how
Eso me da
hard you
curiosidad.
try, you'll never get a straight answer out of her.
Ah, vale, tengo que bajar sin el cuchillo. Ok. ¿Cómo podría sacarte de aquí?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge
Que
of
claro,
the
ahora se me
blade.
ocurren un montón de
She isn't
posibilidades, tío.
suggesting what I think she's
De cosas que
suggesting,
podríamos intentar, tío.
right? She is. I'm sure of it.
¿Sabes por qué tengo que matarte?
Do you?
No.
You're lying.
Sí.
How does she know that?
Don't think that just because I'm the one in chains, it means you have a right to interrogate me.
Bueno, basta de cháchara.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
Sí, te voy a dejar aquí encerrada.
You know why you're here.
Toma la forma que tú le des, ¿no? Igual solo te dice que es una princesa para que tenga una forma concreta. Claro, tienes toda la razón, Af. No serás tú un tío muy listo. Porque el narrador no puede... Un eco no puede percibir nada. Entonces ella no tiene la forma de una princesa porque el narrador lo diga, sino porque al decirme que es una princesa, yo ya me la imagino como una princesa. O sea, de entrada me dice, es una princesa. Vale, pues yo ya voy con eso preconcebido. Me voy a encontrar una princesa y es una princesa. Y luego ya, según lo que pase, pues va cambiando. Te voy a mantener aquí encerrada al menos durante un tiempo. Eso es.
That seems like a pretty good compromise. Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. You can make it easier for
Está
both of
enfadada
us
ya.
if you help.
La cuestión es, ¿afectan los receptáculos que le lleve al final? Yo creo que no, ¿no?
And if you don't, I can promise that you'll come to regret that decision.
Sí y no. O sea, afectan, supongo, los que aparece cuando estaba hablando
You
con ella,
have
¿no?
to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
La voy a encerrar en el sótano.
I know you think this is a fair compromise, but it isn't. No
Afecta
one
más que
wins
eso,
here.
pero no digo nada. Vaya.
It's a chance we'll have to take. We can make this work. If we just stay here and keep watch,
Me estoy haciendo
no one
pipí.
has to die.
Basto, ¿eh?
You're making a mistake.
You turn your back to the princess and make your way to the stairs.
It won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
Me arriesgaré.
Slip these chains.
En el espejo,
She can't,
sí,
right?
Japado me daba la opción
She
de preguntarle de
needed
por
our
qué
help to get out of
princesa.
here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing. Either way, she dropped her mask.
Aquí ya me
didn't she?
rayé y me di la
You
vuelta
can
y la
still turn
liamos, pero en
around
verdad,
and
bueno,
finish the
estuvo guay.
job. You'll be the
Voy a
death of
ceñir-
all of
a
us, but
ceñir el
fine.
plan.
Have it your
¿Ve?
way.
No me da la opción para volver. ¿No? O sea, aquí debería de haberme dado la opción de arrepentirme como la última vez, pero no me la daba, porque eso ya lo he hecho. ¿No? ¿O qué?
You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade. Okay, we can make this work. You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door.
Ah, me voy a quedar aquí vigilando.
It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you from the other side of the door.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out?
Se ha liberado, seguro que se ha arrancado la mano a bocados, tío. Qué susto, loco.
It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways. It's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
No compro nada.
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw and more like something out of a nightmare. As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by piece. I won't forget what you did, and I'll never forget it.
Tío, pero si no le he hecho nada, es lo peor de todo, ¿sabes?
You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
Qué susto. He creado sin querer a la más aterradora,
It doesn't
parece, ¿o
sound
qué?
like she's getting any weaker. No, it doesn't.
Amenázame cuanto quieras, si solo alivia, me alivia el cargo de conciencia. Así que solo estaba actuando, ¿eh? En realidad no tienes nada de inocente ni ofensivo, ni siquiera una princesa, eres un monstruo. Hostia, como le diga esto va a terminar siendo un monstruo. ¿Se lo digo? Ignorarla e irte a dormir. Momento meme, el señor riéndose, metiéndose en la cama. ¿Les le digo lo del monstruo? Yo la ignoraría, la va a disfrutar más. Vale, a ver.
Just ignore her. Maybe the banging and wailing will stop if you just don't pay attention to it.
Alex, a dormir. Yo la verdad me estoy meando.
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against the wall.
¡Oh, mi culo!
You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin.
Ha abierto la
The
puerta.
ruckus has stopped, and the door to the basement is ajar, its lock broken, and the table shoved out of the way. Where is she?
¿Dónde está? ¡Oh! Me he cagado. Hostia, me ha asustado de verdad, ¿eh? Casi
You
me
try
meo.
and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your body simply stops working. It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs. You lie prone on the floor of the cabin, unable
Joder, pero
to
si
do
daba miedo que
anything
siendo un
but witness
fantasma,
her
tío.
approach. Whose side are you on? Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth. Lying about the facts of the
Mentira,
situation
porque el narrador
doesn't
puede
change them.
controlar las cosas, pero bueno.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
She steps closer,
Qué miedo.
one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs shutting down one by one.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills. What a shame. If you'd only help me get out of here, we could have done such
Que voy a tener
wonderful things
pesadilla hoy,
together.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest. You have seconds left.
La run de Halloween.
I'd say better luck next time. But we both know this is the end, don't we?
Bueno.
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends. I'm sorry, but it is. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Bueno, pues voy a hacer pipí, aprovecho. La pesadilla. Cuidado, ¿eh?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end
Bueno,
of that
espero que no haya
path
ningún
is a
jumpscare
cabin,
mientras voy al baño. Que es que mi
and in the basement of that cabin is a
Ahora vuelvo.
princess.
Ya ha vuelto... Ay, me está meando muy vasto. Madre mía. Ay. Hola, Ice. ¿Qué tal está? A ver. Vamos a ello. A ver, que lo encontramos ahora. Vamos a la cabaña.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
¿En verdad en algún momento me miente y me engaña?
I don't think lying and cheating is her thing. She was very direct with us last time. Or at least she was direct with us after we decided to lock her away.
It doesn't matter. Don't trust anyone.
El paranoico. Hola, paranoico.
The interior of the cabin is plain, the smooth wood of the walls almost featureless. The only furniture of note is a lone table, knocked on its side in the corner of the room. A pristine blade stands between you and the open, inviting basement doorway.
¿Vamos sin cuchillo y le pedimos perdón?
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
¿Quién sabe? A lo mejor funciona.
Hold on. What happened to the door?
Oye, ¿estáis viendo esto de aquí? ¿Y esto de aquí? ¿Qué cojones? Me acabo de fijar, digo, las ventanas no tienen como... No las había visto. Qué putísimo susto.
It's just an empty frame. She's already gotten out, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. Can't you feel her eyes on us?
A ver, tiene razón, lo está mirando.
I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The princess has not already gotten out. But if you keep getting stuck in your head like this, you're going to struggle to get the job done.
Va a pedirle perdón. En plan, ¿me perdona, Hugo?
So deep breath in, deep breath out. Your task awaits.
Miro el espejo
Only you can do
y yo,
it.
seriamente, mira, ¿el espejo sirve para algo?
You walk up to the wall next to the empty basement door frame. It's a wall.
What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a...
Bueno, voy a intentarlo.
You reach forward and rub your
No hay
hand
nada.
against
Yo creo
the
que solo
cabinet.
sirve como
I hope you know how
anticipación
ridiculous you look right now.
y para que te vean la manita, ¿no?
Did he make it go away? Clearly there was something in there worth investigating if he wants it hidden so bad.
Vamos al sótano sin armas.
Should have taken the knife again. I don't think she's going to take an olive branch. We need something sharper.
Pues yo que sé,
You
aquí
cross
pruebo una
over the
ofrenda de paz.
threshold and onto a series of isolated steps, suspended in darkness.
Y yo qué guapo, ¿no?
More eyes, too. You never mentioned the eyes. The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're descending into a place that isn't meant for a creature of flesh and blood. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
Los ojos parpadeando, tío.
Her cruel and playful voice
La escalera del
passes up the
Fortnite.
stairs.
Por suerte no juego al Fortnite, no entendí la referencia.
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
Sí, yo creo que está receptiva a que le
Come
pida
back.
perdón, ¿eh?
She must have you confused with someone else. You really don't remember, do you? It doesn't matter, we need a game plan. We know we can't just go down there unprepared.
Voy a hablar con ella. No necesitamos ningún plan. Voy a matarle y ya. Segundo narrador, soy capaz de hacerlo. No sé por qué os ponéis tan pesimista de pronto. Oye, dejarte caer al vacío que ves entre peldaño y otro. Seguir bajando la escalera en silencio. Voy a hablar con ella.
Didn't you hear my warning a minute ago? She can't be trusted. Talking won't do you any good.
Seguro que funciona.
Something tells me she isn't going to be very keen on talking anyway.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness. A smattering of cobblestones visible against the inky black of the basement mark where the floor should be, forming vague pathways. At what seems to be the end of the room, they diverge in opposite directions, left.
Uy. Sí, fue en direcciones opuestas, izquierda y derecha.
She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us to hide. We're completely exposed.
Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place is?
No, I'm not. Somebody needs to be the voice of reason here, and it certainly isn't you.
A ver, salta a la vista, no creo que haga falta decirlo.
Excuse me, I'm being incredibly reasonable. You're the one who's just matter-of-factly describing whatever the hell we're looking at like it's an ordinary basement. We're going to die down here. I don't want to die again.
Pobrecito.
Please stop saying that. You're only going to make things worse. Just pick a direction and start moving.
¿Qué dirección os gusta más, izquierda o derecha?
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter. Because either way you go, I'm going to find you.
Bien. Centro, no podemos ir al centro, allí. Voy a la derecha. Este camino parece más abierto, este parece más cerrado, no sé. Voy a la derecha.
You turn to the right. A faintly outlined path lies before you.
There you are.
Joder.
I told you I was going to find you.
As the princess approaches,
Pues como
your
mola.
legs suddenly go numb.
Parece como una muñeca rota.
Your arms quickly follow.
This is it, isn't it?
No little knife this time. It's almost like you want me to get you.
No, quiero hablar contigo.
There has to be a way out of this. Think. Think! What did you do? Pull yourself together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
Your vision cuts out as your blood begins to coagulate. It's as if every part of your being is coming to a lurching
Bueno, pero no hemos
halt.
podido hablar, lo he intentado. A ver, tampoco creo que con el cuchillo hubiera podido hacer algo.
Lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver. Your lungs pull in a desperate gulp of air as your eyes shoot back open. Liver, nerves,
¿Sigo vivo?
heart. What are you doing? I'm working. Do you want this body to function, or do you want to... And then experience stops once more as your body reapproaches death.
O sea, está haciendo que funcionen las cosas, es como...
Okay, whatever you were doing, please just start doing it again.
Por decirlo.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure that's what you want, or do you want to interrupt me some more?
Sigue mencionando las
You
cosas
have
para que funcionen.
seconds left. Yes, I'm sure. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart,
Perfecto.
lungs,
Continúa.
liver. Again, your eyes shoot open as you gasp for breath.
Oli.
Nerves, heart,
Can't decide what you want to do, can you?
liver, nerves.
Oh well, standing there gasping like a fish is more fun than dead. Even if you look ridiculous.
She isn't attacking us. Why?
Porque no puede, ¿no?
The why doesn't matter. She's already proven her ill intent. Don't lose sight of your
A ver,
mission.
no tengo cuchillo, así que da igual.
And how are we supposed to do that? We don't have a weapon. The way out of here is nowhere to be seen. That isn't my fault.
A ver, pedirle perdón, ahora que
Doesn't
podemos.
matter whose fault it is because fighting her isn't an option right now.
Claro, es que no le he llevado ni una caja de bombones para pedirle perdón ni nada, tío.
Then you should get looking, shouldn't you? Liver, nerves,
¿Por qué no me rematas de una vez? ¿De qué te sirve que yo viva? ¿Qué es lo que quieres de mí? ¿Qué pasó después de que me matara otra vez?
lungs, liver, nerves, heart.
Era una lunática. Si hemos de colaborar, al menos podrías parar de hacer que me dejen de funcionar los órganos. Y si te mato y nos dejamos de cuenta, no tenemos que ser enemigos, podemos colaborar, hasta ser amigos. No pienso hacerlo, no voy a darte a escapar. Quedarte con tu pesadilla.
liver,
Venga, salgamos de aquí. Por la cara. Vale, tú ganas, te dejaré ahí. Un segundo.
nerves,
Le voy a decir esta, que deje de hacer que eso.
I am what I am. It's not my fault that you can't handle being around me.
nerves,
Vale, eso no funciona.
lungs, liver,
Le voy a decir que podemos ser podemos ser amigos.
Would you look at that? You're suggesting exactly what I want. Somebody's ahead of the curve.
¿Podemos ser amigos?
I tried to leave while you suffocated, but that stupid cabin wouldn't let me. So I started to drag your body out with me, and then...
lungs,
Well, you died before I could get to the door. And then I was here, and now you're here too.
Vale.
I don't think I can move without you. And dead doesn't count. And as much as I love what we have going on, I have bigger plans than tormenting one poor little creature forever. I want to leave.
Quiero marcharme. Vale.
heart, lungs, nerves,
Si me necesitas con vida, ¿por qué me has amenazado en la escalera? ¿Por qué no has probado a ser amable conmigo?
heart, lungs, liver, nerves,
I am being nice. You're alive, aren't you?
Pues no por ti. Es porque tengo al paranoico hablándole a los órganos.
And you died of fright as soon as you saw me last time. I didn't think keeping you alive was an option. But it looks like that's not a problem anymore. At least not for me.
Daros de la manita, marcharos
You
juntos.
seem miserable.
A ver, sí, estoy sufriendo un poco, la verdad.
nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves,
Venga, vámonos. Yo qué sé.
lungs,
What?
liver,
No!
nerves,
I knew you'd come around. Oh, this is going to be so wonderful.
nerves,
No, I'm not going to let this happen. Before you can utter another word, your body stops moving, and,
Do you think you can just wrest control away from us? This body's barely functioning as it is. Doesn't the world end if we fail to stop her? Won't letting us die here just make it end faster?
Creo que el paranoico tiene un punto.
Shit. Lungs, liver, nerves.
Corre, que no dejen de funcionar las cosas. Dios mío, qué estrés.
with a flick of the princess's wrist, the stairs slide back into place. I can't believe you're making me watch you damn everyone to torment in oblivion.
Vaya rumba rara,
Come
tío.
along now. You don't want to be stuck down here.
Heart, lungs,
The
liver.
princess glides onto the stairs and beckons you to follow. If only you had a weapon, this would be the perfect
Ya, pero es que quería ser su
opportunity
amiga,
to
tío.
use it.
Heart, lungs,
But we don't.
nerves, heart,
We've already
lungs,
made our
liver,
choice.
nerves, heart, lungs. We can still
¿Pero esto es
grab
porque es un
it on the way
fantasma o
out.
porque es una pesadilla? ¿Será porque es una pesadilla?
You're not wrong, but maybe you should let me handle the suggestions for the time being. Just focus on keeping us alive. Right.
Heart, lungs,
Oye, no lo he dicho antes, pero
liver,
creo que los actores de voz también hacen un trabajo increíble, ¿eh?
lungs, liver.
You step onto the basement stairs, following the princess as she ascends. Pins and needles punctuate your every step, an uncomfortable and constant reminder of your mortality. Is this really worth it?
Todo por cerrarle la puerta del sótano, tío, o sea...
At least it's a choice.
¡Qué barbaridad!
That doesn't justify anything. A terrible choice is still terrible.
Make sure you keep up. We wouldn't want you to fall.
As if acting on instinct, you crane your neck and look behind you. There is nothing there.
Vale.
The princess reaches the top of the stairs and taps on the door. Her head twists back in your direction, watching you with dead eyes as the way out creaks open.
Qué bonito.
Don't forget that your pristine blade is still on the other side. You can still make this right. You can still save everyone. You can still save yourself from becoming her tormented pet.
Parece que es lo que busco en cada run, es su perrito faldero.
There's no harm in us having a weapon. All it does is give us more options, and we are dangerously low on those right now.
Paranoico.
Have you considered that maybe you could operate the autonomic nervous system for a bit? Everyone is trying to manipulate us, and I can only do so many things at once to keep us alive. Heart. liver?
Como este tenga que ocuparse, estamos
Your body
F.
seizes violently as you regain consciousness on the floor of the cabin. No, no, no! You're doing it all wrong. You're supposed to do it like this. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves.
Corazón, pulmones, hígado y los riñones. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Que no los necesitamos o qué?
I guess I have to do everything around here.
¿Y la vejiga?
don't I? Heart, lungs,
¿Y el estómago?
liver, nerves.
There we go. Back with me where you belong. I thought you might have decided to break yourself just to spite me. It's better for you that you didn't.
Cogemos el cuchillo, ¿qué hacemos?
Now we can get back to business. For starters, we won't need this where we're going.
The princess plucks the blade from the
Vaya.
floor and tosses it through the door behind you. It vanishes into the inky
Bueno,
black
pues nada.
of the basement.
No era una opción
Never
tampoco,
took this one, not
aparentemente.
stabbing her in the back. I guess not. I'm going to fix myself a stiff drink. If I'm about to watch you hand the world to her on a silver platter, I'd rather not be sober.
Comparte.
And now you open the door.
There's nothing else for us to do.
Salir al mundo.
The doorknob twists
Un
in your
mundo de
hand,
terror.
revealing the forested path beyond the cabin. You bastard. You've actually died. You've actually doomed liver. Nerves.
Se ha callado su voz.
It's so beautiful. I can't wait to ruin it.
Liver.
But it's so cold, too.
Bueno, no le ha dado tiempo.
Against my skin.
Como cuando se desactiva el papel automático, total. Exhausta, la princesa se deja caer al
Why
suelo.
is it so cold?
Lo siento, princesa. Vale. Deberíamos volver a cargar, supongo, ¿no? ¿Qué? ¿Se ha guardado este recuerdo? A ver. Sí, mira, aquí está. La pesadilla. Se ha guardado. Maravilloso. Todo se guarda, sí, se suma. Nice. Pues entonces vamos a cargar. Al cargar perderá progreso no guardado. Sí, no te
You're
preocupes.
on a path in the woods.
No te rayes.
And
A
at the
ver,
end
Rod,
of that
dime, ¿cómo se
path
hace?
is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
Tell me. Un segundo. Está todo bien. Vale, full W a la cabaña,
You're
no pillo
here
el
to slay
cuchillo.
her.
Vale. Full a la cabaña. No pillo el cuchillo.
You make your way up the short path. We're not going to go through. Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Y nada más haga eso, haz lo necesario para matarla. Vale. Lo
The
intentaré.
interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and must have blade.
No lo voy a pillar, señor. Me voy. Si hubiera continuado, hubiéramos llegado al espejo roto otra vez. Sí, probablemente. Porque solo me faltaba un receptáculo.
This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp. A hint of rot filtering from
Lo
the
típico que
ancient
subes para
wood.
ayudarla, te cierras la puerta,
If the
etcétera,
princess
pero en vez de
really lives
liberarla,
here,
la mata.
Slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Vale.
It's hypnotizing. It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life. Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the
O sea,
manipulation.
como cuando estaba
You're
haciendo la de la
playing a
damisela,
dangerous
cuando te
game
va la
by
espalda, que
coming
decía,
here.
ahora la puedes matar, ¿no? Vengo a salvarte.
How many times do I have to tell you how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it finally sinks in?
No, cuando se arranca con la boca la cadena y en vez de cortarle la mano la mata. Ah, vale.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
Pobrecilla, ya me siento mal.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
Pero un momento, cuando me dan el cuchillo.
She's beautiful. How could someone like this be of threat to anyone? I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. I can't believe you're here. I've been waiting for something
Vale,
like
voy a
this to
intentar
happen
responder lo mismo que respondí hasta ese
forever.
momento.
I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
A ver qué puedo hacer.
You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing. You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug.
Está pillado.
They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs.
Vale, creo que ya recuerdo cómo iba.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away.
Voy a mirar arriba.
Okay. I'll be here. Good luck.
You attempted to make your way out of the
Y ahora
basement,
cuando se
but the
cierra.
door at the top of
Vale.
the stairs. Is someone else here?
Se cierra. Así que nada.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
Sí.
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here
¿Ahora era cuando
together.
se mordía? ¿O primero caía el cuchillo?
She barely hesitates
ahora.
before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped
Sí era.
wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you. The clang of
Me siento
bouncing
bien.
metal.
Mira esa carita. Preciosa.
It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike,
Vale, ahora es
it's
cuando
now.
la mato, ¿no?
Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
Pues solo puedo salvar a la princesa.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted
No me
wound on
deja
the princess's
otra
arm,
opción.
just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh.
A ver, aún le puedo dar una puñalada por la espalda.
The blade is sharp,
Pero no sé qué
and it
pasará
takes
ahí.
little effort to crack through the bone
Entonces,
of
más
her arm.
tarde, no sé.
Her limb falls to the ground. She
Y se
didn't
la
so much
pela.
as utter a sound through the whole. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything?
Vamos a
Thank you.
continuar.
Now let's get
Es
out
que era
of
cuando
here.
subía la escalera cuando te decía... Se va la mano y como recuerdo. Acercarte a la puerta cerrada.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
Ahora yo creo que cuando
Wait,
pueda.
this isn't fair. You can't watch me.
Watch
What are you
me.
doing?
¿Qué hace? Lo siento, princesa. Dar muerta a la
Okay,
princesa.
there's no going back now. I'm with you to the end. You bring the blade down to strike at the princess's heart. But she's fast.
Oh.
She ducks to the floor, your blade narrowly grazing her backside. Slaying her won't be easy now that she's free.
We could have gotten out of here together. Were you just lying to me this whole time?
No, ha sido Ro. Ha sido Ro, está ahí en el chat.
I don't know what's come over you, but if I have to kill you, then I'll kill you. Do you think I need both of my arms to do that?
She pounces on you with the same animal ferocity she used to tear through her arm.
¿Va a convertirse en un furro? Mira, tiene uña.
But you have a weapon. You raise the blade, digging it under her ribs, aiming directly for the heart. It's not enough to stop her. You feel her claws in your throat, then her teeth, somehow sharp enough to pull apart your flesh and sinew with ease.
A lo mejor se convierte en una mujer lobo. O sea, eso era lo que quería Ro, ¿no? Furros.
Your body unresponsive as your blood pools on the ground beneath you. She stares down at your ravaged form, eyes shining in the darkness, dress stained in red as her blood and yours both seep into the fabric.
Se cae la careta.
If we're lucky, the wound you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, it will kill her before she can reach the outside world. It can't just end like this, right? As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened.
Dice ahora, furro, dice dentro de un rato, man.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
Lo raro es que el prota solo usa la mano. Es que yo creo que camina con la otra. ¿Se ayuda a caminar con la otra? No sé. ¿La bruja? ¿Y ahora qué hago?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin.
Un segundo, vale, Ron.
And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
La princesa me ha matado a bocado,
You're
literal,
here to slay her. If you
Narrador,
don't,
¿algo
it
que
will be
decir?
the end of the world.
Estoy en mitad de una partida. Ro, ¿qué hace en mitad de una partida, tío? A ver. Te devoró. Cuidado. Pilla el cuchillo y baja. Vale.
A warning. Before you, she will lie.
Que
Don't
sí,
worry.
narrador.
You can trust us to get
El
the job done.
oportunista ha vuelto. Pillamos el cuchillo.
The interior of the cabin is a mess of twisted roots. The walls a chaotic weave of knotted wood that, almost as if by accident, just happened to resemble a room.
Esto parece
The
la...
floor is damp and earthy. And
la
the only
guarida de la
furniture of
saga,
note
tío.
is a slab of mud in
Del
the shape of a
Baldur's Gate 3.
shelf, with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your...
Voy a pasar del espejo esta vez. Vale, coge la hoja.
You take the blade from the shelf. It would be difficult. Well, if we're grabbing a weapon, we should probably keep it hidden behind our backs. She doesn't have to know we have it.
En verdad escucha siempre que cogemos la cuchilla. Por lo menos cuando estuvimos dentro de ella.
That's not actually a bad idea.
Vale, vamos al sótano. El espejo ha desaparecido todo raro.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase dug into the muddy earth below. The ceiling is thick with roots that hang like locks of tangled hair. The weak starlight from the cabin windows behind you can barely penetrate the gloom here, only illuminating the edges of an opening below. It shines in the darkness like some kind of massive maw, waiting to swallow you up into the earth.
Habla con ella hasta que te permita decirle que no se preocupe, que la hoja no es para ella. ¿Vale?
The air smells of dirt and copper. It's thick and wet, as if your lungs are being coated in mud with each intake of breath. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice skitters up from below.
Something nasty finds itself on my stairs. Come on down. Don't be scared. I probably won't bite.
Yo no soy repugnante. Vamos a bajar.
Silence, I see. Don't think I've forgotten about you. I recognized the sound of your nervous little footsteps as soon as they came into my home. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
No sé.
She must
Este
have you
cuchillo es un
confused with
regalo.
someone else.
Es para mantequilla, que te he venido a hacerte unas tostadas.
She seems friendly enough. Maybe we can talk our way out of this whole situation. You can't. Unless you slay her right away, she's going to break free and end the world.
Pero si estoy bien
There's no reasoning
sentada.
with what she is. Look, I'm just throwing ideas out there.
Y la
I like to
tostadora
think out loud.
en el fuego.
I'm the kind of guy who likes a discussion. Don't we want to hear what everyone has to say before making any big decisions? Do you want to hear what everyone has to say? Or do you just want to hear yourself talk?
Como el
You
galán.
need to stop lingering. Your task is to slay the princess, not endlessly debate about what to do with the princess. Fine, fine. You're the boss.
A ver, el que manda técnicamente soy yo.
Thank you. You descend
Una
the basement
furra.
steps,
Y no se ha
entering the
depilado las
dark room
piernas.
below. You can just make out the shape of the princess in the gloom. She's huddled against the far wall, her eyes bright and glaring from amid the thick roots.
And there you are, one hand tucked away behind your back, gripping that sharp, sharp blade, no doubt.
That's no fair. How would she know that?
Porque la he escuchado.
So, we've dropped the pretenses.
Y cuando puedas le dice algo así como que la última vez las cosas se pusieron complicadas y bla bla. Vale.
Good.
She's acting like the two of you already know each other. Oh, no. You've already been here, haven't you? That's pretty sharp. How'd you figure that one out? Call it deductive reasoning. Well, you seem to be great at it.
Cállate,
Do you remember
narrador.
us then? Do you remember last time? No, I don't. But you and the princess clearly have a shared reality, even if I'm not a part of it. I won't waste time fighting you on something that's clearly true. I'm just glad we could put all this behind us.
Vale.
Is it all behind us? Just focus on the task at hand. I don't
A
care
ver, espabila,
if
que
you've
quiero
been here
hablar con
before,
ella.
and I don't care if you think you'll go somewhere else after this. My world is on the line right now, so I'd appreciate it if you would take this seriously and slay her. Let's chat her up a bit first. Maybe we can find a middle
Acamelárnosla.
ground where everyone's happy. Don't talk to her. You're just going to make things more difficult than they have to be.
Well, I seem to remember you having a tongue.
Siento lo de la última vez, habéis cometido un error, nos pasa a todos, ¿no? Seguro que tú también habrías cometido alguno. No te preocupes, la hoja no es para ti. Bueno, no es para matarte, aunque tenemos que sacarte de alguna forma, ¿no? Le voy a decir eso.
Oh, I don't need you to cut me out.
The princess grins as the chains fall from her wrist. She could have gotten out of those the whole time. That sneaky little... A woman after my own heart, really. She knows how to hold her cards close to her chest. This is why she can't just be abandoned here. If left to her own devices,
¿no?
she'll find a way out. Now stop her.
Habéis cometido un error, nos pasa a todos, ¿no? Seguro que tú también habrías cometido alguno. Me da la sensación de que estás enfadada conmigo. La última vez morí yo, no tú. Si hay alguien que no te fía, eres tú. Lo sé, la última vez se puso fea la cosa, pero creo que está pasando algo que nos supera a los dos, deberíamos aliarnos. Si podías escapar tú sola, ¿para qué me necesitabas? La cabaña no está cerrada. Vale, vámonos. No quiero hacerte daño. Pero está claro que aquí nos falta de confianza. Toma esto como gesto de buena fe. Dale la hoja. ¿Cuál le doy? ¿Ro? O sea, ¿cuál selecciono? Hay muchas opciones. La que la última vez la cosa se puso fea. Vale. Esta.
I suppose you didn't come into my hovel of your own accord, did you? All right. I suppose I could team up. I need a way out after all. And unfortunately, you're the only one I have.
Al fin y al cabo necesito una forma de escapar de aquí. Por desgracia, tú eres la única que tengo.
Seems to me like she's offering a mutually beneficial arrangement. We should take it.
Por un momento me parecía, digo, cuando ha cogido ya la hoja, porque he dejado el ratón justo aquí. Y digo, wait, ¿cuándo me ha quitado el cuchillo? Y era simplemente el efecto, estaba justo sobre su mano, el ratón.
Do you know what the word mutually means? Because it sounds to me like
Cuando me he
an
descuidado me ha
arrangement
quitado
that
el
benefits
cuchillo.
her and her alone.
¿Qué le digo ahora? ¿Le digo lo de la buena fe? Ah, tengo que darle el cuchillo. Vale, le voy a decir, toma. No sé, para tener confianza.
You can't be serious.
Now, hold on. We should put this to a vote. The blade is one of our most valuable assets. We can't just give it to her.
A
What
ver,
if she uses it to kill
oportunista.
us?
O sea, la última vez no
votes.
necesitó
No.
ni 2 manos ni un cuchillo para matarnos. O sea que...
As do I. Abstain?
You abstain. She's going to kill us if we give it to her.
Esto no es una democracia, le vamos a dar la hoja. Literal, ¿eh? Yo cuando os pregunto qué hacemos. Vaya una idea peregrina se me ha ocurrido. Dale
You're
la
going to
hoja.
get everyone killed. You know that, right? But of course you do. You toss the blade at the princess's feet. She
Se la
eyes
damos.
it with suspicion before kneeling down to pick it up.
I wouldn't have done that. Why did you?
Pues porque tengo una vocecita en mi cabeza que me susurra que lo haga. Se llama Ro.
She creeps forward, taking one cautious step at a time until you and she are face to face.
What do you think
Qué mona.
happens now?
Pues no lo sé. La decisión es tuya, por eso te he dado la hoja. La última vez elegí yo y me arrepiento. Esta vez te toca a ti. Esta suena bien. Los dos tenemos miedo, estamos dolidos. Si ninguno hace nada por cambiar la situación, es probable que nos acabemos matando el uno al otro eternamente. ¿Es lo que quieres? Porque yo no. Estamos por encima de esas cosas. Eres preciosa, quiero salvarte, de verdad. Y creo que esta es la última forma de conseguirlo. Si te parece alguien que yo me sé, es probable que me mate. Ah, hay que decirle que es preciosa. Vale.
She pulls back, clearly
Oh,
caught
qué
off
mona.
guard by whatever nonsense you just said to her.
Por la tontería que acabas de
I
decir.
thought it was nice.
De aquí en adelante haz lo que quieras. Recomendación personal, sé buena gente. A ver, no voy a ser mala gente, tío. Cuando hago lo que quiero, cuando he sido mala con ella, a mí me da mucha pena, tío. Pero si he destruido el universo por irme con ella, ¿cómo voy a ser mala gente? No me ponga el pepo ese que piensa, porque no. La primera run, bueno, pero es que ya la habíamos liado, ya íbamos hasta el fondo, ¿sabes lo que te quiero decir? Hola, Kiwi.
Whether it's nice depends on if we meant it. We didn't mean it. Did we? If you were lying, we'd all know. But unfortunately, you weren't lying.
Actualización de situación. Bueno, Kiwi, si yo tuviera que contarte lo que ha pasado.
What? What do you mean by that? What kind of game are you playing?
Casi no pasó nada. Ahora somos furros, si eso parece.
The look of surprise that momentarily softened her features vanishes as she steals her nerves. And then she buries the blade in your heart.
¡Ah! Me ha matado.
What? No. No, come on, that's not right. I told you. I told you. This is
El amor
what she was
duele,
like.
sí, eh.
Glee dances across her face as you fall to the ground.
I did it. I got you. You...
The princess seems to tremble, her smile fading quickly, replaced with concern. Her nervous eyes brim with tears.
¿Qué le pasa?
Why? Why did you let me do this?
Ah, que no esperaba que me dejara matar. Ya podréis imaginar más o menos qué representa esta run. No.
But you don't have the strength to respond, nor do you have the time.
Ahora mismo la verdad que me pilla un poco.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
Encima es culpa nuestra, sí. La espina.
You're on a path in the woods. I can't believe she actually stabbed us. I told you not to give her the blade. I told you it would come around to bite us. I voted against it.
Este bosque es muy bocho, tío.
Yeah, we know. You already got your I told you so's in while we were bleeding out. I just wanted to make sure that everyone here knows that I was and am on the right side of that argument.
Oh, you're far from being on the right side of anything. You're
Ha vuelto
fixated
el
on the
galán,
past,
tío.
whereas what you should be is fixated on the future.
Ho, a visionary. I like it. Tell me more.
Vaya 2 años juntadas, tío. El oportunista y el galán.
Gladly, my dear fellow, by cruelly turning on the princess in her moment of vulnerability, we made ourselves an enemy. But by mastering our fear and insecurity and handing over our power, we've begun a journey to something so much deeper.
A ver, creo que tienes razón.
I like journeys. Travelling is a bit of a passion of mine. It makes me so relatable. Now, where are we off to?
Well, if we're lucky, it's a journey to love.
She hates us.
Va a subir los vídeos de YouTube, sí, Kiwi, por supuesto.
Does she?
Como
She
siempre.
hesitated before stabbing us to
En el
death.
canal secundario estarán los dos probablemente en un par de días. Dudó un poco antes de apuñalarnos.
Maybe she won't be as keen to betray us this time. We've already proven to her that we can change. So maybe she'll realise that things don't have to end in violence.
Eso es.
You know, maybe you're right. In which case, I suppose the only thing to do is to get back to the cabin and give it another try. Give what another try exactly? You are aware I've been listening to you, right?
Hola, narrado.
It makes no
Adiós,
difference
narrado.
if we conspire in the shadows or bear our intentions with open hearts. We are breaking your cruel cycle and whisking her away to freedom.
Hombre, por supuesto. Siempre las series que me juego aquí
Oh,
sabéis que la subo al secundario. Porque me gusta tenerlo ahí. Aunque lo vea muy poquita gente, pero yo qué sé. Para vosotros. Por si alguna vez la queréis ver y para recordar los buenos momentos que pasamos con los jueguitos que jugamos. Hola, Teresa.
Great. So you've obviously been here before, since you apparently died at least once. Twice, actually. Sure. Twice. Then I'll spare you the little introduction.
El
I had
narrador
planned.
sigue sin caerme
You
bien,
already know
incluso
about the
después de haber
princess,
pasado los
and
juegos.
clearly you already know that she's dangerous. So don't muck this up. It's bad enough that this isn't your first time through.
Para enterarme de qué va este juego. Claro, es que el juego, escucha, empieza y dice, bueno, parece un juego normal. Este lugar está distinto, no para de cambiar. Vamos a liberarla. Ahora estamos en paz, seguro que lo entiende. Pero a ver qué nos dice cuando lleguemos a la cabaña. Espero que no creas que la voy a liberar después de que me apuñalara el corazón. Que le den a la cabaña. ¿Qué pasa si nos vamos sin más? Sí que te estás tomando con calma todo este asunto del bucle. Pase lo que pase ahora, parece que la respuesta que buscamos está en la cabaña. Debemos llegar al fin del asunto. A ver.
Yes.
Vamos a ver.
Good. Playing both sides. That's what smart people do, and you're the smartest
Que
in the
jugar a
room.
dos bandas, ¿no? ¿Qué dice? Oportunista.
I'm not sure it counts as playing both sides if people can hear you doing it. Buddy, you're thinking in far too few dimensions. There's layers to doing this right, and I'm pretty sure the one making the choices gets that. Trust in what plan?
No sé de qué está hablando el oportunista.
The decider's plan. Sure, we don't know what the plan is yet, but that's part of the whole trusting thing, isn't it? A good leader knows how and when to keep things secret, and sometimes a good leader even knows to keep
Nah, pero
things
es que
secret
Undertale,
from
esa
himself.
serie estaba en el primer canal que tenía. Es que ese juego lo juegan directo.
There isn't a plan, and that's the whole point. We're supposed to be guided by emotion. We're supposed to passionately live in the moment, and I'm sure that when the time comes, those passions will tell us to
Ahora será
set our
super furra.
darling princess
¿Y
free.
ese canal se extinguió? Sí, ese canal está F.
If I were you, I'd remember what she's done. You know how dangerous she is. And you should know that someone like her shouldn't be let loose upon the world.
Vamos a la cabaña. Y dejamos de
It
discutir con
isn't
esta
long
gente.
before you find yourself at the base of the cabin. I think it's clear where everyone stands at this point. I don't know if I'd say everyone. You talking about me? I have a position. It's a good one too. Ignore him, he's just talking for talking's sake. My position is the only one that matters. The princess is a threat to you. She's a threat to me, and most importantly, she's a
Qué
threat
triste
to
no sabe
the
nada del
world.
contexto del juego.
You know what you have to do.
¿Qué está pasando? Resumen. Yo creo que sería más guay, Traisa, si te lo hubiera desde el principio, la verdad. Vamos a la cabaña.
The interior of the cabin is hardly an interior at all anymore.
¿Esto sonaba bola?
Burned out ruins merely suggest the shape of the structure that once stood here, charred wood still reeking of ash. But beneath it lies the fresh smell of spring growth after rain, the promise of new life in the wreckage of the old. The only furniture of note is the crisp shell of what was once a table, a pristine... Wait, this isn't right. There's supposed to be a pristine blade. Why isn't there a pristine blade? We gave it to her last time.
Puede
She
ser.
can't still have it, can she? Well, it's not here. And if she has it, let me guess, you want to get all chummy with her. Look, as far as I see it, if it's between him and her, I say we side with the one who has the weapon. It's just the smart thing to do.
A mí es que el
I
narrador
wouldn't
no me
be so
cae bien.
hasty. I'm sure the blade will turn up somewhere. She can't have it. That's not how this is supposed to work.
If she does have it, that's all the more reason to put our faith in her. We've already shown her our heart.
A ver,
Now
y el
she
galán
has
tiene
to
un punto,
show
la
us
verdad.
hers.
Imposible resumir esto. El resumen sería... está en el bosque, en mitad de un camino, y hay una cabaña. Dentro hay una princesa. Tienes que matarla. Creo que ese es el resumen del juego.
Unless her heart tells her to stab us, which doesn't seem unlikely.
Literalmente.
So, yes, I agree. Let's make sure we get on her good side.
Vamos al espejo.
You step forward and approach the scorched entryway leading to the basement, hesitating before you begin the descent.
You know what you have to do. Wipe away the grit from the mirror and behold our handsome features.
¿Pero es lineal y va avanzando o tienes que resetear constantemente y coger otras opciones? No te diría que es lineal, pero... no tienes que ir reseteando. O sea, si tú... Es que claro, yo creo que te hago spoilers si te lo digo, en verdad. Creo que es mejor que te veas la serie del principio y disfrutes de la sorpresa.
You reach forward and wave your hand through the hollow entrance leading to the basement. What are you doing?
Yo acabo de spoiler. ¿Estás comiendo spoilers de qué? No, Japadón. ¿Por qué se lo has dicho? No sé cuánto de spoilers tiene eso. A lo mejor un poco, pero... yo qué sé. Yo creo que este es el típico jueguito que es mejor descubrirlo. Aunque sea vérselo jugar a alguien, ¿sabes?
Alas, our fine features remain unseen. We'll just have to trust that
En
she'll
verdad, en
find us
ningún momento
beautiful as we are.
nos hemos visto bien.
Well, seems like the only way to go is forward, isn't it? Yes, that's where everything tends to be. Let's just
Un
put on a
10%
good
de
face
spoiler.
and have our wits about us.
Sí, es un poco la mecánica. Sí, creo que sí. No has preguntado. ¿Y si da miedete o solo es así turbio? Hay algunas veces que sí es turbio. Otras es bonito incluso. Depende. Vamos a los sótanos.
You step through the frame of scorched wood and make your way into the darkness below. The stairs to the basement are covered in a fine layer of gritty ash. The air still feels warm, as if the fires that ruined this place had only recently been extinguished. Yet fresh shoots of thorny branches are already weaving themselves through the soot-covered earth of the walls around
Ya
you.
sé qué final es este. El final Ori. Porque está todo lleno de putísimos pinchos, tío, como el putísimo Ori.
Their spines point courteously down towards the basement, so you're able to brush past their jagged points with
Literalmente.
ease, at least on the way down. But you don't need to think about the way back up just yet. That's a matter for after the world's been saved.
These thorns are an expression of her pain. I know it. She's calling out for help.
Her voice, worn down by pain and suspicion, hobbles up the stairs.
I can't get away from you, can I? You betray me, I kill you, and you come back. You let me kill you, and you come back. I don't know why you let me do that. I don't know what you want from me.
Pobrecilla. Sí que suena hecha polvo. Yo no sé lo que quiero. En ningún momento he decidido venir aquí por voluntad propia. Quiero liberarte, de verdad. Solo quiero hablar en serio.
I think you know how this goes. I'm down here and I can't leave. So, come down and talk. It's not like I can stop you.
You continue down the basement stairs, brushing past the smooth edges of thorns that grow more and more plentiful as you make your way forward. You step out into what was once a vast open cavern, now overrun by briars and prickles and thistles, the space thick with hostile vegetation. At the heart of it all, encased in a tight weave of vines, is the princess, her bloody, trembling hands clutching a pristine blade.
Did you know this was going to happen to me? Are you here to watch me suffer? Are you here to laugh?
Pobrecilla. Sí, he venido a reírme, toda la gente, tío. No he venido a reírme, sino a liberarte si me lo permite. Intentas coger la hoja. Estás en una prisión que tú misma has creado. Yo rompí nuestro ciclo de violencia. Si quieres seguir regodeándote en el tuyo, es problema tuyo. Darte la vuelta y marcharte. Supongo que no tengo nada más que decirte. Vale, si te vas a poner así, me marcho. No, le vamos a decir... esta.
I want to trust you.
Her grip tightens on the blade.
But you're hiding something, aren't you? Why would you help me if you weren't helping yourself?
No eres la única que anhela ser libre. Yo estoy igual de atrapado que tú. Creo que debemos marcharnos juntos. ¿Hay alguna forma de que pueda hacerte cambiar de opinión? Intentas coger la hoja. No sé qué, problema tuyo. A ver, la primera, yo creo.
The princess clutches the blade closer to her chest.
That sounds nice. I'm so tired of the bad blood between us. But it's hard to let it go. You've hurt me.
Pobrecita, ahora me siento mal. Mátala, pobrecilla.
Her eyes dart away from yours for a brief moment.
And I've also hurt you.
Estamos en tabla. Vale, son las mismas opciones. Pues, ¿hay alguna forma que pueda hacerte cambio de opinión?
I don't know. What can either of us really say at this point? How can we trust something as hollow as words?
She's right, there's nothing left to say. So let's get a move on and do something before she comes up with a scheme to get out of here on her own.
We don't need words to send a message. It is through action that we can show her our adoration, our devotion, our kindness.
Entonces quizás sea demasiado tarde para decir nada. Solo importa la acción. Intentas coger la hoja. ¿Ya puedo coger la hoja? ¿Intentas coger la hoja? Mejor le pregunto, ¿no? En plan... Es que es mejor preguntar que hacerlo directamente, ¿no? ¿O qué? Porque a lo mejor, yo qué sé, si digo, ya solo importan las acciones, no sé qué, y le intento coger la hoja, se va a asustar, yo creo. ¿Puedo coger la hoja, por favor?
Her eyes briefly meet yours, then dart back to the floor. She hangs her head in resignation.
Okay.
Vale, me deja cogerlo. ¿Puedo cogerlo?
You reach towards her bloodied hands, laying your palm on her trembling fingers.
Pobrecilla, qué angustia, tío. Está
For
llena
a
de
moment,
pupas.
she clutches it even tighter, her knuckles going white with the effort. But then the tension fades. Her grip finally loosens and she allows you to take the weapon.
Tengo el pincho.
You carefully pull it free from the thorns, though they scrape at your skin, leaving red trickles of fresh blood all along your arms.
Y ahora que no se lo espera la mato. Pobrecilla.
She trusts us. She trusts us. Doesn't that set your heart
La puñal en el
aflutter?
ojo.
Yeah, a little. It could just be nerves. Being this close to her does bring back unpleasant memories, but I don't know, it doesn't feel bad. It feels good. Like we're special to her.
Para capítulos como este me sobran voces, como la del galán. Ya, es que inevitablemente el juego tiene un toque de humor, ¿sabes, Ro? No intenta ser súper intensito todo el tiempo.
We are special to have gained an ounce of trust from a maiden so guarded. Now all that remains is to free her from her
Además hay personajes que
bindings.
son cómicos de por sí, como el galán, ¿sabes? Hay otros que son más normales, ¿no? Como el héroe.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's show her how much both of us have changed. Or, hear me out, we slay her right here, right now. She's never been so helpless, and if we don't take advantage of that, we may never get
No,
another chance.
oportunista, no
That
seas
sounds
mala
like a
gente.
splendid idea. You should listen to him. I see that the lines have been drawn.
Vamos a ser buena gente.
It's 2 against 1. It's 2 against 2. You don't count. And why shouldn't he count? Because he's clearly not one of us.
Ahora pienso en el capítulo este, en el que estábamos dentro de ella, ¿sabes? Y se quedaba todo el rato el personaje callado cuando estaban discutiendo los otros. Pues tiene que ser ahora este momento, ¿no?
That doesn't matter. He's been with us the whole time. He should get a say.
So, did you mean it? Or was I a fool to hand my life to you?
Algo así, sí. Está diciendo, bueno. Dar muerta a la princesa. Pichu. No, liberal.
Yes, what a good idea. Let's cut her free. Oh, so you're suddenly team free her. You can't just switch sides as soon as we make a
Es
decision.
un chaquetero el oportunista. Bueno, por algo el oportunista, ¿no?
I can do whatever I want, and I believe with my whole heart that this is the right course of action. Let's free this princess. Everyone deserves a chance at redemption. Let him join us and be merry. We are all united by our passion. That's right. What he said. We've already
Eso,
given him
eso.
a chance at redemption. And who says I don't deserve another? I really mean it this time. I'm big enough to admit when I'm wrong. So I want to help you all free her.
Además, estamos empatados. O sea, yo la maté una vez. La intenté matar una vez.
And I have no
Y
problem
ella
with
mató
that.
otra.
Welcome to the team. You're one of us now. One of the good guys. You take the blade
Oh,
to the
shit.
thorny vines imprisoning the princess, and she flinches, relaxing only slightly as the blade slices into the thick vegetation rather than her arm. And she flinches again as the last of the vines is cut away, as if, after all of that, she's still expecting you to turn on her
Tienen
and stab
sangre,
her in
tío,
the heart.
la enredadera esa.
You're not going to do that, are you? Still, all it would take is a single slip of the blade. Such a pathetic attempt at distraction and subterfuge. Our blade
Unas
is a
cuantas, ¿no?
dashing sword,
Sí.
and every dashing sword is an
Las enredaderas
extension
son
of
parte
its
de ella.
hero.
No, no creo.
It won't slip.
A lo mejor las del pelo sí. Pero...
You're right. He can't even make it slip, can he? He's a bit of a nobody. Good thing I've been on your side of all this since the beginning.
El chaquetero este.
The princess falls into your arms, tears streaking down her cheeks. I can't believe you're making me describe this. I hate you.
Cae entre tus brazos.
You actually meant it. You rescued me.
Do you see the way she's looking at us? Kiss her. Kiss her now before the moment ends.
¿Puedo? ¿Puedo darle un beso? En plan, de todo romantiqueo. Que viva el amor. Espérate un momento. Ahora tengo una pregunta importante. ¿Tengo boca? O sea, ¿tengo labios para dar un beso? O sea, boca tengo, pero creo que es un hocico, ¿no? Creo que es un pico con dientes. No estoy totalmente segura. A ver, pero yo creo que besarla así de tal... No, está feo. Pues claro que sí.
She smiles, her hand slipping into yours, and the
Le
two of
picotea un
you
ojo.
rush to the basement stairs.
Tenemos que afianzar nuestra relación antes de darle un beso. Así de repente, tío, después de habernos hecho un montón de daño, no podemos darnos un beso. No, eso está feo. Hay que construir poco a poco.
You should have kissed her, you fool. It was the perfect moment.
Cállate, galán, que tú no sabes de relaciones humanas.
Shameful, really, that the same thorns that so graciously allowed you downstairs are now blocking your only way out.
Vaya mierda.
Please, after all the trials we've been through, do you really think a few measly thorns can stop us? Love is an even more powerful weapon than our blade.
Eso es verdad, el amor
We
es
cut
muy
through those
poderoso.
other vines just fine. They're only thorns. I'm not afraid of getting a few scrapes. I'm not even sure we need to do any cutting. We can just move them out of the way. What a pathetic showing, really.
¿Podemos?
A few pointy sticks can't keep us down here. We're both
Puntas.
meant for so much more than this.
¿Cortar la espina o adentrarte en la espina? ¿Cuál es la diferencia? O sea, me imagino que adentrarte en la espina es simplemente que pasas, ¿no? Y ya está. Y te las clavas todas, en plan... Ah, pincha. Yo qué sé, me la pelo. Vamos a entrar. Yo creo que está bien.
As
Ah,
you
mira,
step
se han
into the
abierto.
thorns covering the basement stairs, they
Es el poder del amor. Let's go.
both you and the princess ascend the stairs without obstacle. This is unacceptable. The second you step out of this cabin with her, the world ends. Do you hear me? What did the world ever do to you to deserve this?
Your nightmare is our dream. Whatever world would condemn an innocent like her to a cycle of violence and despair isn't a world worth.
Tienes razón, galán. El poder del amor heterosexual. Dios, ya ve.
We'll weave something new together. Something better.
You and the princess hesitate at the cabin door. This is your last chance.
Hombre, lo voy a matar la hora, ¿te
We've
imaginas?
already made our decision.
Eso es de hijo de puta.
We're finally leaving here together, aren't we? And all we had to do was trust each other. It wasn't easy, but I'm glad we finally could.
Ir hacia la libertad.
Hands
Borrón y cuenta
clasped,
nueva.
the two of you open the door and step out into a new day. You irredeemable murderers.
F. No podemos tener finales bonitos, tío.
What do we do now? Where's everything going? Why is it so cold?
La momia. No tiene oportunidad de contestar ni nunca la tendrá. Es hora de irse. Pues me ha gustado. Me ha gustado, tío. Esta runa es bonita. Yo creo que sí, tenía razón, Ro. El mensaje que tiene de que te hagan daño, no confíes y luego te den la confianza, te cueste confiar y al final, tío, o sea, no sé, creo que es bonito. Está una runa que representa el daño interno que puede llegar a sentir una persona a la que se le traiciona la confianza, hasta el punto de que se deja de confiar en todo el mundo, claro. Eso es muy humano. De esa manera más daño al resto y por ende a sí mismo. Anoche jugando con mi señora pues le cayó una llorera porque es un poco lo que representa su pasado, ya que es algo más personal y privado. Simplemente diré que bueno, ha tenido una evidencia que rozan y supera lo surrealista. Claro, yo creo que esto es una cosa con la que te puedes sentir muy identificado. Claro. Entonces eso que quedan cada vez más atrás, ya que el tiempo y mucho la confianza y mucho terminan sanando. Lo que hasta cierto punto representa el final del capítulo 3 de esta ronda. Podría hablar más, pero todo en torno a sucesos, etcétera, se explica por sí solo. Sí, sí. Se explica muy bien. O sea, en el segundo capítulo no. Porque te queda un poco rayado, pero...
She's gone. Where did she go?
En
Should we
el
try and
tercero sí
find
queda
her?
todo más claro.
And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
Teníamos que besarla, ¿verdad? Bueno. Hemos probado un par de rooms más. O sea, más de posibilidades. A ver, ¿tengo ya otro receptáculo? No, esto es la historia. Recuerdo. Mira, aquí está. Redención en el matorral de desconfianza. Aquí está. Pues muy chulo este juego, tío, la verdad, ¿eh? Vamos a volver al menú principal. Y yo creo que se puede seguir exprimiendo, sinceramente, ¿eh? Es larguito el juego entonces. A ver, pasármelo una vez ha sido directo y medio. Pasármelo una vez. Pero claro, es que si quieres hacértelo al 100%, si quieres conseguir todas las posibilidades, todas las cosas que pueden pasar, pues tienes que rejugártelo un par de veces. Yo, personalmente, o sea, lo que es en directo lo voy a dejar aquí. No voy a volver a jugarlo. Porque ya sería simplemente rejugarlo y ver posibilidades y tal. Pero tampoco quiero rayarme. Es el típico jueguito al que, no sé, a lo mejor por mi cuenta pruebo alguna cosilla más o de aquí a un tiempo lo vuelvo a jugar o alguna cosa así. Porque tampoco creo que sea agotarlo y quemarlo sea lo ideal, porque si no... El resto de runes en general no hay ninguna realmente interesante. Bueno, eso es muy personal, ¿no? Pero... Tampoco, o sea, no tenía intención... Sabía o me imaginaba que había varios finales, tampoco tenía intención de hacerlos todos. Yo digo, bueno, lo que me salga. Y hemos probado algunas posibilidades más por curiosidad y ha estado guay. Así que ahora por Arceus. Así que como siempre, pues lo tendréis los 2 episodios en el canal secundario para que los disfrutéis. Para el siguiente Halloween. A ver, a mí me gustaría que esta gente hiciera más juegos, porque este está muy guapo, tío. Buen jueguiño, sí, me ha gustado, desde luego. Me ha gustado mucho. ¿Estará bien? ¿Estará igual de guapo el otro juego de la compañía? Pues no sé, le echaré un vistazo a ver cuál es. Pues no tengo ni idea de cuál es el otro juego de esta empresa. Así que... ya está. Sin más.